Hello, everybody. Welcome to Speed 5. As everybody noticed, I actually don't have my co-host, cKnoor, so everybody is stuck with me today. I am Lady Magnus. Hello to everybody, and we do have Crusader Kings III today. It is a family affair, so it should be amazing. It should be a great time today. And I do believe we do have our leaderboard up today. Yes. Okay. So we do have our leader right now is SpartiniMartini with 10 points. And then the next one is heyitscara, followed by Snap Strategy, The Grave One, and OldManMordaith. And I do believe we actually have SpartiniMartini ready to speak to me, I believe. Hello.
Hello, lady.
How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to play.
Right. So what is your strategy for tonight? Or do you even want to say what your strategy is?
Oh, I'm going to be in trouble. My king has poor health. He's old. He's about to die. And the succession crisis is probably going to follow.
Oh, no. Well, you did an amazing job last week. I think, if I recall, I think you started out the stream last week with just 2 points, right? And you were able to climb up to 10 points?
Yeah, I think it was 1 to 10, something like that. It went fairly fast last stream, but maybe a bit too fast.
Yeah, I mean, you were able to too fast. Yeah, I mean, you were able to really put up more points than I think everybody here was kind of thinking that you would. I mean, Kara, I think it was 5 points the first week, which was also surprising. So you really racked up the points, and you did do a really great job actually controlling that Byzantine Empire. So I have faith. I have faith in you. If that means anything, that you'll be able to keep the lead.
It means a lot. I'll take all the support I can get. I'll take it all.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go get ready, and we are going to bring in heyitscara next. Hello. How are you today?
Hello. I'm good. I have a surprise for you in my cat ears.
Oh, those are adorable. Just stay away from Mordaith. Don't.
True.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was so tragic.
Yeah, he has a thing with cats.
Yeah, so I've heard.
But those are adorable. I love what inspired the cat ears. Was it Mordaith?
Thank you. Not directly, but maybe subconsciously. I felt like putting them on because the vibes are right. So maybe that's literally it.
Maybe that'll throw him off, and he won't be able to get more points.
Yeah,
just stay away from you.
He'll feel so guilty psychologically. Yeah.
So what is your strategy for tonight to get more points on the board, keep your points, expand your empire? What do you have planned for tonight?
That is a great question. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make some, if anything, I'm going to try to be diplomatic with the other players, try to make some agreements with them, and then also hopefully expanding outside of Europe, trying to get some points that way. I think that's my game plan for today. Just trying to be buddy with everyone, at least on the surface for today.
Maybe not kill off certain people in Hungary. That's a great strategy. Okay, I'm gonna let you go get ready, and we're gonna bring in Snap Strategy. Hello.
Hello.
And what is your strategy for tonight? Because you're in France.
Yeah, I'm in a lot of trouble because I'm now an 8-year-old girl, so I think my plan is just survive. I think that's all I can do.
I know. I mean, I hate it. Every time that I wake up as an 8-year-old girl, it's a struggle.
It happens way too often, and now I'm just...
Yeah, it does. So you're just planning on just surviving. I mean, honestly, you still have 5 points, which is still good considering you've had a lot happen to you in the last stream, especially.
Yeah, it went really well the first stream, and then the second stream, I think I just lost everything and I kept getting murdered. So I think as long as I can get to an adult without getting murdered again, I might be able to retake some land. But if I get murdered again, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen.
Do you have any plans to maybe get back at a certain someone for the murders?
I mean, yeah, I think I have my suspicions of who it was. I won't say, but I think I have a good idea.
Okay. All right. I'm going to let you go get ready, and we will bring in the Grave One. Hello.
Hello.
And how are you tonight, Tim Tim?
Tim is doing okay. Had a really bad last week, but I have a feeling this week will be just okay as well. But hopefully we get one more point. That's my goal.
Okay, that's a good and a decent goal. I think, especially for 2 hours. That's good. Maybe you could put a few more up there too. You never know, right?
Maybe.
And are you planning on maybe trying to smooth things over with some people if you can, diplomatically?
There may have been some talks or apologies behind the scenes, being like, I'm very sorry for murdering several of your family members. But, so maybe it's already smoothed over. So
okay. All right. Yeah, maybe get some alliances going or something, maybe?
Yeah, maybe making friends is a better idea than murdering people. So,
all right. Well, I will say goodbye for now and good luck. And we will be bringing in Mordaith next. Hello.
Hello.
And any strategy, especially after hearing all those interviews? Anything going in?
I have one major strategy, and that is to try desperately not to lose that single point that I have gained.
Yeah, well, look, I have some serious faith in you.
Well, Jerky McPrime Rib and his children are going to do their best.
That is fair. I love those names. I think I'm not sure whose naming strategy I actually like more in a family affair right now, but yours is one of my favorites. And then the Tim Tims and
I'm a big fan of the Tim Tims.
Yeah, I love it's just music to my ears with the Tim Tims. So are you inviting anybody over for dinner? Maybe apologizing to people for some cat problems?
I am desperately going to be trying to seek allies to try to keep what little I've carved out. So honestly, I'm going to be a cheap date.
A cheap date. Have you tried to maybe make some alliances, or do you have plans to murder anyone? Invite them over for dinner?
Murder, that's very harsh. We tried to varying degrees of success murder last game, and it didn't really get us much except satisfaction. But
Okay.
what we're looking at doing is possibly expanding outward, or making alliances within the European region.
Okay. Well, that'll be super interesting, and I will say goodbye to you for now and let you go get ready. Good luck. All right, everyone. So that was super interesting to see what everyone has planned. It'll be an interesting evening, to say the least, to see kind of what everybody's strategies are, who can keep their lead, who can get some points, maybe lose some points. We never really know. But I think we are ready to bring our two casters in, Midgeman and JibblyJam. Hello.
Hello.
And Midge, what did you think about any of that? Anything stand out to you for tonight?
Well, I mean, I think they've all got the correct assumption of how the game is going for them. Spartini does have an interesting succession ahead of them, but they are the leader with 10 points, and they made some massive gains last week. Snap Strategy does need to stop being murdered. That would have really helped them. Mordaith needs to keep up with the funny names. Of course, that's really going to help them right now. Tim had a bit of a bad game, and I remember them saying, the Grave One saying at the end of it, it was like, yeah, I had some plans, none of them worked. I was like, oh, buddy. But let's hope that they can use some of that pre-gaming strategy that they had last time and actually pull it off this time. And then I think Kara's got a good bet if she can go under the radar and not lose Hispania. So yeah, but Ghibli, what do you make of this current start and the scenario right now from what was left off with last week?
Well, realistically, I think we need to have all of our players working on their getting their cultures to the late medieval. I think primogeniture is going to save everyone right now. Just having to fracture your empire every single time that your heir dies, and really fixing the succession, I think is going to probably be high priority. I also would just like to point out that I'm seeing maybe what is some sort of attempt on favoritism, because I just noticed that Basilius Chattis of the Byzantine Empire has named his children Midgeman and JibblyJam. Maybe.
Yes, we're in.
So we're in now. But I think my favorite thing about Paradox Grand Strategy games is the offline Diplo that was mentioned about after last session. People talking not even in the game anymore, trying to make apologies, trying to do their Diplo, and I just think that is actually probably the most fun part of playing a game online with friends, is actually taking that offline and turning it into, hey, sorry I killed everyone in your family, Do
you think that's going to work, though, Ghibli? Because, I mean, honestly, they could sit there. The Grave One can apologize all he wants. And, SpartiniMartini could sit there and say, yeah, I forgive you, buddy, and then immediately go invade him. So do you think that that apology will actually work for him? Or do you think he's just done?
I mean, it could, realistically. I think, especially in a game like this where people are, the point system is based on how many of your dynasty members you get on different thrones. So they could be working together to help each other out. If there's a person with high intrigue and another person that has a lot of children, if they just work together as allies and combine their military forces and, use everyone's skills, they can actually start placing each other on the thrones. It's just a question of, do they want to give up their own points to be able to help another person.
That is true. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hand this over to Midgeman and JibblyJam.
Thanks, studio. Okay, so yeah, we're just doing some final setup here, and we'll be bringing it in a moment. But just a couple of, what are your predictions in terms of point fluctuation this week? Do you think we're going to see much, or we're going to see a relatively passive week? I noticed you mentioned about people trying to get to primogeniture, but that's going to require them to go learning education, which I don't think anyone feels comfortable in doing right now, looking at how they've been playing. So I'd like to see your take on that.
I do think that for this challenge, maybe going learning isn't necessarily the most important, especially because as long as your dynasty is on the air, you don't need to keep your empire together, although it is nice for the point. But I think my predictions for now, I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with Kara in the HRE. I want to see if she's going to be able to turn that around, break free. It was a really smart move on her point. We just kind of have to see what she does with it. France is going to have an issue being 8 years old because you can't do sway schemes. There's a lot of personal schemes that you can't do as a child. So keeping vassals loyal is going to be really, really tricky. I think we're in a pretty good spot for Spartini. I believe, I'm going to just double check right now. I believe that the heir keeps the empire. So we might not actually see a dissolution if the ruler dies. So that could be exciting.
All right. Well, let us bring everybody in and get this game underway for tonight. Of course, just a reminder for those of you who have missed, we have currently SpartiniMartini as the Byzantine Emperor. The Grave One is the the Kingdom of Sardinia. Heyitscara is down in Iberia. Snap Strategy is over in France, and then OldManMordaith is currently in Wales and Scotland. We had a really interesting play at the end of last week where Kara, whilst under threat from Catholic Crusade, multiple players about to dogpile her, she converted to Christianity and then subjugated herself to the HRE to avoid war. I believe there was a conflict that was brewing over here anyway. If I just click Kara and I get the outliner open. But it was a massive, massive undertaking in actually force vassalizing herself and subjugating herself, probably saving her dynasty a little bit. I am curious, however, to see how the succession goes. Her ruler's quite young, so we shouldn't see it for a while, but she does have those, 7 kingdom titles underneath her. It'll definitely be one to watch here. I'm not sure if we left off with anyone at war. Snap Strategy, of course, currently playing as an 8-year-old in France, as we've mentioned multiple times here. Currently our middle point player, middle of the table here. A lot of places to go to gain more points, but also a lot of places to lose points. For example, I believe their family just recently lost England, which was a good point stronghold for that dynasty, which is a big base of power that they do no longer have. We also have players, obviously, we have the Quack House dynasty over here in Byzantium. Probably our strongest player militarily now that they've managed to solidify the HRE quite a bit. And if you look at the kingdom's map mode of the HRE, most of these have been formed up and put under Quack House dynasty members. There is a lot of kingdom titles here for the Byzantium to hold and to play with, and that's being used to full effect. We also
as far
have...
as war, we're in the Crusade right now.
Oh, of course, we left off with the Crusade going on. How is that? I actually can't see it right this moment. It was at 100%. What happened with it? Has it actually formed up, or?
Yeah, it's currently, I think the leader of the players is Tim 2. We're not on Tim's anymore. They have 20% in the war chest.
It's currently not allowing me to view as a player, so I can't get the full lowdown on here. So you'll have to tell me what the percentage is of this war while I play with some things.
Yeah, sure. So the war is at a 58%. They're currently sieging down Jerusalem, which is pretty sweet. Doesn't look like actually that many of the Muslim nations have joined. It looks like just 3 defenders. What I am seeing, though, is that a lot of people have joined but don't have their armies raised. So, again, I think the only one that is actually actively participating right now would be the Grave One.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just click around so that we can double check. I don't think a lot of the players necessarily realized that they were necessarily going to even have time to get into it. I think one thing that does actually geographically give the Grave One... oh no, I'm sorry, Grave One's not in it. I've taken that back. He's no longer, he's put his armies away. I was going to say geographically, though, being this close to the Mediterranean does give you an advantage in the Crusades, so that you can actually get in and start racking up participation in a crusade early if you wanted to get in on that juicy war chest.
Yes. Yeah, the high participation. And like I mentioned I believe at the end of last stream, one of the best ways to get participation in a crusade these days is to just have your men die in it as well. So it's pretty good to be the first ones there, as like you will probably get overrun. But I've managed to have a view of the crusade now, and it's actually very close to ending. The real problem is like, yes, this will be a good get for the Grave One. It will be another point on the board, and it will give them access to, say, other kingdoms. However, holding on to Jerusalem is a tough one, especially with right now where we have still a pretty strong Seljuk existing. The Seljuk Empire there, that's current... Well, it's under a 4-year-old right now, so actually the troop count isn't too big. But also, do not forget that Chadus, the Byzantine Empire, is also a player, and that they're not afraid to get into Catholic business if they need to. Jibbly, if you could quickly just check the Discord as well. There is just while we continue having a look at the rest of the map. How is Kara? What's Kara currently doing with her game right now? I think it's a lot of passive play at the moment. She has 11,000 troops to her name, which is 1,000 more than the Empire of France. The Empire of France, obviously limited by the fact that they are ruled by a child. The reason I'm looking at troop counts is currently to sort of size up what sort of player wars might happen. We're in the third session now, and the space available in Europe is getting much tighter. Now, they don't have to remain in Europe, but there is a good chance that we will start to see some player-on-player conflict coming up very soon. McPrime Rib not looking great in terms of the the stress abilities here. Losing a lot of major points there, and delicate, the minor health penalty there. McPrime Rib not looking as strong, but hey, this is the strongest we've seen Mordaith's family right now. They do also have an unpressed claim on Scotland. Are we about to see a second point coming out for Mordaith? That would be lovely to see. Also, as a reminder, let us have a look at the family renown points chosen. So, Mordaith has taken 2 points in kin. SpartiniMartini has taken 3 points in guile. The Grave One has taken 3 points in glory. Snap Strategy, I believe, split between Guile and Glory. And Kara, how are the Chads doing? 1 point in Glory and 2 points in Kin. So a lot of the same dynastic legacies being chosen. However, we are seeing a different split from every single one of our players, which is really, really nice to see. Everyone going about, they've got the same ideas, but they're going about it a slightly different way. And developing these strategies is what we really, it makes for all exciting. If everyone's doing exactly the same, where's the fun in that, at the very least? I also want to quickly check successions. So, currently, the Kingdom of Sardinia Corsica is on Confederated Partition, which luckily, because they don't have another kingdom title, isn't going to break it up too much. However, that they do, like, their family had already had a split because of Italy. If they do take land enough to form another kingdom title, however, so if they manage to gain enough land back from, oh wait, Sicily is now under a quack house. Is that now 11 points for the quack houses? Let me just check this. Sort this by rank. We have 1 point, 3 points, 4 points, 5 points, 6 points, 7 points, 10 points. No, that's where we left off. They had already taken Sicily. Ghibli, are you seeing anything? Or are you back? We're having some small little technical difficulty where I seem to have lost my buddy. So I will you'll have to just put up with my voice for now, chat. I know you would want to hear the lovely tones of JibblyJam instead of me talking as much as I am. But interesting, acclaimed throne scheme against the Holy Roman Emperor coming in with a 90% chance. The Grave One pulling out the big ones, going for that 3-point Empire title throne. They've got a 90% chance to do this. They've got King Slav. Oh, they pulled off a kidnap on King Slavaspor right at the beginning of the stream. I remember seeing the icon come up. I'm guessing they used that for a hook and have therefore then used it to get this scheme on the way. That's very, very interesting. Obviously, the Holy Roman Empire is a great get. However, holding on to it is a little bit more difficult because it requires diplomacy and voting. You do get extra points if the heir of the Holy Roman Empire is of the royal family, so it's not as hard once you've got it, but still, if there's enough people that hate you, and for example, players who are now voters, because I believe Kara might have a vote, that's going to be an interesting thing. Or maybe there's been some diplomacy going on there. Kara was talking about trying to be friendly with people. Maybe she will offer some votes to the Grave One. We could see a small player alliance forming there. That's rather interesting. I can hear you now, Ghibli. Welcome back.
Wow, that was crazy. Sorry about all of that. I was just about to say, with Mordaith, I'm going back a little bit in time, but Mordaith is allied to the King of England. So I think a war for the Kingdom of Scotland could be in the works.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely see that coming out, especially with that unpressed claim. However, Francia still has claims on England. They could use that as the opportune moment to attack and reclaim England. So it's going to be a definite difficult one. Also, the Grave One going for Pomerania right now, trying to solidify how much land they have up there, maybe to try and get that extra kingdom title going. You like to see it because one of the things I really respect about this strategy up here is not many players have managed to move towards Eastern Europe, and there is a gold mine amount of kingdoms to be had over here. And this is the first real concise goal. Yes, Snap took Denmark for a little while, and that was providing them points and is providing them points, but there hasn't been any other goals here, mainly because Snap has been having such an issue with their inheritance recently. So this is a really good getting out ahead of the rest of the pack compared to, say, the Byzantines and Kara and even Mordaith, who should all be looking to this kind of region and maybe in Africa now for their expansion because, like I said, Europe is so crowded and they've got to try and grab those points left, right, and center. So I resubmit my question to you. Is there anything else you've spotted that I haven't?
No, but I do have a question. In our empires, does the HRE give extra points?
Yes, like the Byzantines, it's a 3-point option.
Okay. I was wondering if maybe someone might try to go for that. It'd be a little tough to climb, I think, maybe for the Grave
as
One,
we were
but
looking,
it's possible.
Yeah, he's currently got a claim throne going for it, with a lot of support. So he's going to get a claim. But actually getting that claim and overthrowing the HRE, that's going to be difficult.
Yeah, two different things.
Oh, I'm now the Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire, of the Byzantine Empire. Look at that. Basilius Midgeman. I mean, hey, look at that. I'm now on the Byzantine throne. Look at that beautiful boy. It's actually not too far from my hair color. It's a little dark for me, but I'll take it. There's a handsome young lad born in the purple. Definitely bossy. That sounds about right. I was a twin in the womb, but I absorbed
we were
my
twins.
twin, so
No, isn't it me?
sorry, Ghibli. Apparently. But so accurate. I'll take it. Also, we have the Kingdom of Jerusalem under House Tim. So that is another point for the Grave One. There is a third point coming in there, taking their total up to 3. It hasn't changed any of the places, however, so they're still currently in 4th place. But interesting. They've got a lot of troops. Oh, they've managed to get control of the Holy Orders. Actually landed vassals in. That's weird. That's when you know a Jerusalem is going to do a little bit better when they actually have vassal holy orders. When that doesn't happen, that's when they get a little bit worrying. I would really, as the Grave One now, I'd be like trying to push my family member to get some wars down there, or just attacking myself down there and giving a buffer state for that kingdom. Maybe looking to do a war themselves against the Fatimids, who only have a maximum of 4,500 troops right now. They're a little bit weakened. So just a standard kingdom. Hang on. War declare on liege. It's what? Okay, no. So the Grave One's ally, Slavobor, who was helping them get the claim throne, is currently going to war for someone else's claim on the Holy Roman Empire. This fracturing could be the chance that people like Kara and people like the Grave One need to shake up the Holy Roman Empire here. This is an opportunity in the making, absolutely. No player involvement yet, though, so they might just let this happen. Don't know if that's the wisest choice. Kara, at the meantime, is in a couple wars of her own. Going for a war for the Chieftain of Jame? Where is this? Oh, it's in Mali.
Oh, that is a cool expansion path.
Absolutely. That's a very good expansion post. And the other one she's in as an ally that's helping Slavobor, who is also causing this AI character in 2 wars at once. One to expand their own territory, the other for the Holy Roman Empire. Look at them go. AI Bohemia, never going to fail. But yes, this little outcropped land, they've actually surrendered already to Al-Andalus. This is interesting. Very, very interesting. I really like this move from Kara, moving down here. Kara has also allied themselves with the Almoravids, the big Maghrebian kingdom here. Also, note, this is only a kingdom right now. The inheritance here is going to destroy this very soon, because there's no empire title here, which will be a nice area in which hopefully Kara can jump into, maybe snatch some kingdom titles there. But there we have it. Kara has gained a little bit of land down here in the Kingdom of Kabu, which is actually a really small kingdom title. Wow. Look at the de jure map mode for that. That's really easy to obtain. Well, it's not. It's just really small counties. That's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 counties, 2 duchies. Huh.
I think in comparison, especially in North Africa and West Africa, a lot of the kingdoms here, they just don't look as large as perhaps their European counterparts. But I do think that they are still as difficult to hold and maintain, especially because now that she's Catholic, she's gonna
That's
have,
very true. Rebel
some
problems.
issues down there, yeah. But to expand is not a bad idea.
Yeah, it's a very defendable position from the other players as well. It's not going to be easy for anyone else to get themselves down there. Kara's joined the rebellion. Kara's joined the rebellion of the Holy Roman Empire.
This might be
She's gone for the Al-Andalus claim on the HRE? Hang on a moment.
Oh no!
She has her own claim. She got her own claim on the HRE.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness. The chat ass.
Wow. Look at this. Omega to Chad, the foreigner of Al-Andalus, now pushing for the HRE. The Royal Rumble has begun, and it is in the Holy Roman Empire. The Kaiser's throne will be wet with player blood soon, because multiple players have their eyes beset on that great throne. I am very, very interested to see how this goes. Currently, the war is at 0%. They have called the Maghrebi kingdom in as well. So this is 30,000 people versus the 8,000 of the Holy Roman Empire, because the 8,000 of the Holy Roman Empire are already fighting another claim from Bohemia as well. Hang on. Why is that saying that? No way can she enforce it. That's not right, surely. That's a graphical glitch because of a... Yeah, okay, that is a graphical glitch. Whew. I was like, no way. The Holy Roman Empire as I'm talking. No way. But either way, this looks to be a interesting conflict already. The Kingdom of Hungary, which was one of our initial battle zones, has a lot of problems going on right now. They're in 4 wars. They are a 15-year-old boy. And it's not looking good for them right now. I think we might be about to see the fracturing of Hungary. Snap Strategy has lost an eye?
Oh,
the
no.
Empress of Francia, 14-year-old girl, is missing an eye. I mean, she's got that dope-looking eye patch, but... Oh boy.
If she can just make it, she's almost of age. And if she can just make it to an adult.
Yes, absolutely. And Who's her betrothed? Just a random Norwegian. Okay. Her becoming an adult will help because then she can press that England claim, and she definitely has enough troops to do so, and she wants to do that preferably before. Wait, I think it's happening. The Scotland War is happening. They've not called in England. They're doing it themselves. Mordaith is going in alone, and they're smashing them. I want to check. Has Mordaith managed to get Longbowmen? No, they've got standard bowmen and standard bowmen. No, you need to get the Welsh men-at-arms, the longbows. Get the Welsh longbows. They are such good units. Their damage is insane, and they have bonuses in a lot of territories. Highly recommend. My go-to recommendations for if you're looking for men-at-arms to adopt into your culture, get longbowmen and get horse archers, and you will never lose. Either one of those, and you'll be fine forever. Longbowmen are nice because they're much cheaper than footmen, armored footmen, but they hit like just as hard. It's very good. Actually, that's an interesting question. What's your favorite culture to play as in CK, and like why? What's the, out of the new culture system? If you've had enough chance with it to play around with some of them.
So realistically, I have been really enjoying like my Norse Asatru plays, but I just recently started a game in Ireland. It was my first Irish game, and I've been really enjoying that. I actually did I started as a female ruler, and I used seduce schemes to vassalize the entire Irish Empire or the Irish Kingdom without going to war once, and I really enjoyed that.
Wow.
So what about you, Midge? What's your favorite culture?
Ooh, the culture groups are really interesting. I will have to say I do like the steppe cultures because of the horse archers, but I have to say I really like the new Castilian mechanics. Because if you've got I know it's not tied to the culture, but it's led me to play with the cultures. Castle keepers, having that as a tradition as a bonus is really nice for your prestige. But playing down in Castile, obviously getting you those two new dynastic legacy choices, the what are they called? It's what are the two new the dynastic choices? I cannot remember what they're called. It's the my lack of knowledge is showing. Let's see if I can check. There we go. If I check Kara, Metropolitan and Kosari, those two are really nice and have some really nice roleplay levels to their playthrough. Metropolitan, especially with the development cost in cities. I think that was a thing. Yeah, development growth in each city county by 20%. Oof. You can get some really good development out of those.
Super strong. So
yeah,
it's looking
Kara's
like
war now, though. Go ahead with Mordaith.
Oh, yeah. Mordaith is winning their war. And then in the HRE, it's not looking great for the Emperor. Emperor's in 4 wars, and it's looking like Kara's coming in full siege. It was a great move to attack. I honestly wasn't expecting a claim on the Emperor from Kara. I was just expecting an independence, but this could work out very well. I wonder how King Tim's claim is going.
Well, Tim has the claim. They just haven't fired it themselves. They're still dealing with this war for Pomerania, which, again, was a good grab, but unfortunately, it's with what all the other players are doing right now, that looks a little bit rough. Also, Tim 1, the other Tim Kingdom, has been imprisoned by the Holy Roman Emperor right now, I think. Oh no, Pomerania's captured. Okay, interesting.
Oh no.
But they've also joined the rebellion as an independence war against the HRE, their own separate war against the HRE. So Italy's looking to get independent of the Holy Roman Empire right now, whilst all of this other craziness is going on.
I think being independent is probably a smart choice since the empire might change hands. Hopefully, a few times.
So you think the AI being practical here, just try to save the Grave One some points? I like that option.
Yeah. Yeah, that
More
clean,
rebellion going on in the HR in the Byzantines as well.
4 years out for King Tim, so we might have to wait to see another claim throne, depending on how long these other wars take.
Yeah, Kara already at 60% with her war and absolutely outnumbering the Holy Roman Emperor. I think we're going to see Kara take the HRE very, very soon, which is... She said she was going into this session to make friends. Now, I really would like, when the hosts get a chance to talk to Kara, I didn't know friends were made with swords these days. I didn't know it was, friendly to stab people, but, I've learned something today. I really have, because I don't think she's going to make many friends with the players right now as soon as she becomes yet another target against them. I think we're going to see the big question of, can Kara hold on to all of this? And honestly, I think Kara drawing so much attention to herself is a great opportunity for Spartini. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for Spartini because they can just keep building their little kingdoms down here in the Byzantine Empire and maybe move into Persia and the old world and just, start gobbling that up and go to town on this area, really secure it for themselves, deal with their rebellions when they have to, and go unchecked.
Oh, Mordaith has won their war, and we are seeing a very large whales.
Yes, big whales. Huge whales. Absolutely giant whales. We are good. I mean, I'm very glad for Mordaith to get their second title. However, the problem is with Scotland. He needs to remove that line of succession law because it's ancestry. So as soon as Mordaith dies currently, it is going to go to someone not of... currently it is going to Hot Pot. But there was a good chance that it could also fall out of his family. He's just got to keep an eye on that succession. It could mess a few things up if he's not careful.
What do you think Mordaith's next...
is a great name.
What do you think the next target is? Ireland?
Yeah, it's got to be Ireland. I think really grabbing Ireland, really solidifying this British Isles is the best bet. I have to say, Wales as a map color is one of my favorites in this game. That kind of rust color. So if they form an empire over here, I really hope they change the map color to match. I've also noticed I was really expecting the players to go like fully weird on that and like start putting their own family sigils as their empire title and changing the colors, changing the names, but we actually haven't seen any of that. I was expecting to every week having to go, oh yes, this is the Quack House Empire, formerly the Byzantines. I'm low-key glad that I don't have to learn all these new kingdom names. I would, however, be in favor of Britannia being Welsh colored and renamed to like the Celtic Empire or something, or the Gaelic Empire. That'd be fantastic if I do say so myself. I think Italy got its independence. It did.
Excellent.
So, I mean, my opinion's out on this one. This could either be really good for the Grave One or really bad because it could put Italy, their sister kingdom, now as a target for other players to gobble up. A little more so than being within the HRE, but the jury's kind of still out on that one. We'll see what happens. Okay, so currently, the Grave One is our second to last in score player. What do you think they need to do to really start climbing the ranks here?
Well, realistically, I would say getting more Italian clay. I think if they could get Italy, I'm curious to see what they're going to do with the Byzantine Italian clay. I would hope that would be something that could be solved diplomatically, because from a war perspective, I just can't see Grave One going in on Spartini right now. Byzantines are just too big, too strong. I think that they're going to be able to reclaim Tim 1's land.
Mm-hmm.
But now that the HRE is going through such turmoil, that's another option. I think the ambitious play here would be to try to go take that title as well. And Kara has just taken the
She only
title.
went and did it. She renamed the Holy Roman Empire Chad. I feel like I've brought this upon myself. But Kara has just taken a 3-point empire title, bringing her total up to 9, right below Quack House and Spartini. The race is massively back on now. Wow, the Empire of Chad, the Chad Empire. This is very interesting. Currently, if she was to die today, she would not retain the Chad Empire, but a Spanish house, House Ispila, will actually take. Oh no, that's a cadet dynasty of hers. Oh, so it would. Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Realistically, now that she is the overlord of the Grave One, I'm hoping to see the Grave One go for independence.
Yeah.
Let's see if...
Yeah, that's going to be a really interesting look. Also, just a quick rundown of the scores as they appear on your screen. SpartiniMartini with 10 points. heyitscara with 9. Snap Strategy 5. The Grave One with 3. And OldManMordaith now 2 points on the board. Slowly gaining that ground. Mordaith, of course, was the only player to not get onto the scoreboard until session 2. So, hey, there's a lot of moving and shaking going on. And whilst the point totals may look unattainable when you compare, say, Mordaith to Kara or SpartiniMartini, everything can change because people can also lose points. But go ahead with what you were saying about the Grave One.
Oh, no, just independence being... because they've lost their scheme to claim the throne. And I think even if they were to try to claim the throne now, it would be... You're fighting Kara. She seems to have squashed a lot of the other HRE wars that the previous emperor was in. Then again, taking a look at factions, though, they are... we could see some issues brewing. She seems safer right now.
The Grave One's trying to murder Kara. Oh no, that's a claim throne.
Oh, it's a claim throne. It's a claim throne. It's a claim throne.
Oh, I was gonna say. Oh, sorry.
Eventually, that will lead to murder.
Yeah, that's true. It could lead to murder. And she has some pretty strong. They have some pretty strong claimants against Kara as well. So that's good. Even though it's just been discovered, they've still got an 81% chance of getting that claim. And that faction is also very. There's a Liberty faction that's already at war. Yeah, there's I think there's a lot that's going to be going on here. I think that the Thunderdome is now open for business, and we're going to see things change hands quite a bit. Wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus 3. That's 10. Kara might be joint first right now. Kara is joint first right now. She gained an extra kingdom title that I didn't notice. Which one of those was recently made? There we go. Kara is actually on 10 points. Now tied with SpartiniMartini.
Oh, that's so exciting. So what do you think that the Chad Empire is going to go for next, Castile? try to integrate that into their realm.
Yeah, I really think so. I think Castile grabbing that away from because that's a cadet dynasty of snap strategy. So stealing that point away, that would be an excellent move in my opinion. Something of note here: the current Holy Roman Emperor, the one that holds my namesake, is homosexual, which might make heirs a little bit difficult.
Oh. Here we go. Betrothed.
So.
But that's going to make the heirs, yeah.
And also, their betrothal has claims on the whole of Brittany. So that's a kingdom title that could be stolen away, which is very nice. But yeah, the whole lack of heirs thing could be an issue there. Although they are ill, they might not be long for this realm. I'm just going to quickly double check House Quackhouse points, because the thing is with House Quackhouse, they seem to make kingdoms kind of under our noses quite a lot of the time and then hand them out. So just got to double check this. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus 3. That's 10. Okay, still the right amount of points. So just 23 minutes left of this half. Of course, we're going to have the second half of this game right after we talk to our players in 23 minutes. I'm very interested to see where this is going. There's a lot of moving and shaking ready for just, essentially the first half of this event today. Well, first quarter of this event today. I never expect to see that much moving. But these players are in it to win it. No matter the point total they're on right now, they are all pushing for victory.
Yeah, we're seeing some amazing strategies. I'm happy to announce that Empress Juliana is now an adult, and so we'll hopefully be able to see some heirs being made. I think that France is in a very safe spot now. They haven't lost their empire, so we're feeling pretty good about that for them. However, these small little tidbits of land that they own all over, they've got that tiny little outcropping in England. They've got the tiny little outcropping down in Hispania. I'm not sure if that's going to make them a target. Yep. And even if they are a target, who's going to fight them? I mean, Cara, with the entire might of the HRE, could certainly come for, just that one little county of Santiago.
Yeah, well, actually, to note here, I think they've used their dynastic renown to gain an unpressed claim on the Kingdom of Castile. So they actually might be able to grab Castile into Francia before Cara can do anything and bring them into the Chad Empire. Also, they are, I don't know if you already mentioned it, but they're also fighting their war for England. So that point is going to be returned to Snap very soon. And Hot Pot McJerky isn't... Hot McJerky I just clicked on as there being, obviously, a cause of adultery. Of course of it being... okay. Being accused of incest as I click on them. Just, that's how it is. But England is just about to lose to France, I think, by the looking of these numbers. Ignore the war win, but it's 2,000 English troops against 17,000 of the Francian alliance. We're going to see a resubjugation of England very soon, back under Francia. Do you think Mordaith could have done something else there in order to try and, secure that, or were they not in a position to?
I think if it came to military, absolutely not. I think that there could have been maybe some sort of diplomatic wiles and guiles that they could have attempted. But yeah, if it comes to war, just the sheer numbers are against Mordaith in this. Mordaith has done a great job, though, of making sure that I think they're hopefully going to be able to get into Ireland. If they're going to lose the claim on England, maybe we'll see some cheeky intrigue going on to take that back in order to form Britannia.
Yep. I'd quite like to see a united British Isles, but that could also be, just my birthright speaking. I think the Grave One's going for is this an independence war or is this a war against the tyranny? War against the tyranny? What did Kara, what did you do? Did you just try to take their land? Did you just try to revoke the kingdom of Tim? I'd like to see what's going on with the players here. We have a player conflict as Kara fights a war for the tyranny against the Grave One. And the thing is, these sides are matching up relatively evenly. I mean, as close as you can get right now when one of the players is the Omega HRE. 43,000 HRE loyalists versus 36,000 rebels. Sweden is coming in on this side. Bohemia has now switched to the rebel faction. Italy's coming in. Parts of France are coming in. What do you think, Do you think another player should try and get in on this war?
I think that they should if they want to stop the point explosion that's going on. But then there's also another Liberty War. So I think right now Kara is dealing with the oops, I just took over the HRE really quickly problems.
Yep. Yeah. I will say Kara's troops are currently sieging down the Grave One's capital. The Grave One kind of waiting for their allies to all turn up. Some of their allies getting caught off guard by the HRE forces. Unfortunately, Florence has fallen, and the HRE army is moving south. The Grave One here, his 13,000, an allied 13,000, probably not going to be quite enough for that 30,000, 35,000 Holy Roman troops just sat there above them. Wait, France is in?
Oh.
France is in. This is it. This is the player war.
Big game changer.
This is a big game changer. Also, just to note that Snap Strategy got England back. They're back up to 6 points on the board. But here comes the Empire of France. Yeah. This is going to be big. This is going to be big. Can Kara, the person known for being never giving up on a fight, in all of the games we've had that she has been a part of, even when it looks tough, Kara gets tougher and tries to fight it. So we're now seeing relatively even. Actually, it's switched in the favor of the attackers. The rebels now have 49,000 to Kara's 40,000. Francia being in is an interesting problem, but she does have the war going, and it's at 72%. She's fighting a smaller stack of rebels, but no, reinforcements are coming in. This is going to be a huge battle. We're going to see a huge battle right here in Arezzo. The rebels look like they might win, but that reinforcement tick might have just come in at the right time. It's not quite at the right time. 15,000 people have already fled from this battle. Hopefully getting that reinforcement tick has slowed the amount of losses, but we're going to have to check the battle details on this for the true losses, because here comes the death tick. Kara losing that battle. Let's see if we can find that battle in the list. I don't... Yes, I've got to click the defeat, of course. Details. So, kills. Kara's side losing 10,000 people. The rebels only losing 2,000. Even though Kara had more troops, I think the reinforcement ticks just came in right at the right time there. If we also look at the kills of the generals, the rebels doing far greater with their knight ticks. We can also check the pursuit phase, which is where most troops die here. Yeah, a lot of damage coming in from the light horsemen on the rebel side. Not as much as you'd think. Most of the troops actually dying to levy on levy combat in the main phase. Big battle. Big battle.
This is a big war. I think a lot of sides are going to be hurting.
I think we're about to see another fight, though. It's not looking good for Kara, because that is not a fight she wants to be taking. She's heavily outnumbered there. That is really rough. That's going to be a lot of losses. That could have been a retreat path problem, possibly, in the fact that the only way back to her capital in Iberia would be across the sea at this point. Could have been queued up, ready, or it could have been go for a smaller stack, not realizing the rebels around because of the fog of war. It's looking rough. The amount of troops down here is disgusting. They've managed to wipe peace. One of the wars there. Yeah, the Liberty War, which, okay, not having to focus on everything, it does help. Also allows the extra manpower pull for Kara, but Kara's down to 13,000 of her own troops, and then, what is that, 8,000 allies. It's going to be a rough one, because she's now fighting 54,000 rebels. Now, the outcome of this war, because it's a war for the tyranny, will that depose Kara? Kara has just put in the Discord that she gives up. Oh boy. This is going to be interesting.
Ooh.
What's it going to be? What's going to be the result of this? Because this isn't obviously going to wipe her out of the game. She, no matter what, has to retain her starting duchy, as per the rules of the game. But I believe her losing this war will depose her from her top level title, the Holy Roman Empire. Right? And currently, the heir of the Holy Roman Empire is still of her family, so this isn't going to change much from the points.
But it does weaken. It
does weaken her position massively, yeah.
Yeah. Even just having to lose that much manpower sets her up for being very careful for the next few years while that manpower is recovering, just to have to fight another war.
They're not letting her surrender at the moment, I don't think. Oh, she's been imprisoned.
Oh no. Oh
boy. Right, we need to pause here. Because I think she's technically been game overed. So we do need to let Kara probably join back and need to double check if she's still in the game.
It does say that she is Patriarch Hamdin of
cool. Okay, it's just a graphical glitch on my end because I was clicked onto her character and it doesn't follow the player. Okay, good. Just let that go. That's a relatively big loss. The HRE is back under the Salians. Oh my gosh, the voting must have flipped right at the end there.
Ooh.
Kara is now playing her child, her previous her previous character's son.
That's a scary.
Glad that she only had one son.
There are only two.
Her player area currently is her father, so they could come back. And she does still have that claim on the Holy Roman Empire, so it's not completely lost. But she does lose the big 3-pointer there and moves down again to 7. SpartiniMartini must be looking at this, just going, ha 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 ha, all as planned. I'll let all the others fight it out instead of fighting me. You were saying about the points.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can gain and lose points so quickly. It's actually so hard to even, within the course of one session, to even be able to just expect, things are going to go a certain way.
I have now apparently come of age.
Congratulations.
Wow. Yeah, I know. Thank you. I'm now the Basileus, true Basileus, the Holy Roman Empire. However, one thing I don't think we've really mentioned, and it's kind of been an elephant in the room, or should we say the goose in the hoose, with SpartiniMartini's people here. Why are they all giants without being giants? They're all huge.
Yeah.
The irony here is of this person named Midgeman being what looks to be a 7-foot-tall behemoth is not lost on me. However, relatively accurate. King Hot Pot McJerky over here is ill. Currently, their uncle is their heir. They have Mordaith, again, struggling with kids. But this might be a tactical struggle with kids, because he is married to a woman who is 67 years of age. Which is interesting. No real territorial expansion going on over there yet. I'd really like to see some fast-moving work on dealing with Ireland and trying to get that under thumb. Now, I feel like the real kingmaker in this, I was about to say, is France.
Yep.
France is in the position here. Snap Strategy is in this position to break and make players. As we saw with that Holy Roman conflict, really, Snap Strategy, like getting involved, it's really what took the biscuit, I think, and you know, put the real stress on Kara and that fight. Not to mention it turned to the micro for being one player versus one player and AI microing against each other. But wait, what?
There's a Kingdom of England war going on.
For Earl Robert, the person that they deposed for England, kept titles in Surrey, and now France, the Kingdom of France, which their family lost years ago, is pushing for their throne of England again. So we could see some points being lost here by Snap Strategy. Really haven't been able to deal with that French rebellion that has been sitting around since the beginning of Session 2. But like I was saying, the amount of troops that they hold when they're not fighting themselves is enough to sway the balance on either side. Now, I would say they'd be relatively weak to be attacked, but as they have the power to say, okay, if Kara wants to go attack the Byzantines and take SpartiniMartini off the pedestal, France on either side of those wars will decide the victor, because the other two players, I don't think, can put as much forces to that in order to shake it as much as France here. So I'm really interested to see what sort of plays Snap pulls off here.
Now, let me ask you this question, Midge. So you are the Grave One. You've just deposed Kara as the Emperor. What's your next move?
I think you've got to try and be the Emperor. I think now that it's out of player hands, I think it's got to be back to you. And they've got a pressed claim on the Holy Roman Empire. They're currently resubjugating their breakaway family tree in Italy. So that's going back under them. They are helping Snap Strategy against this rebellion. Have we seen a player alliance form between these two ever since that overthrowing of the HRE? Is this the first backroom dealing coming to light?
It would be incredibly beneficial for both parties. If France can help secure Italian succession, then that's a great ally for France to have.
Yep, absolutely. I will say that heyitscara seems to, if you look at the player map mode, have major control of parts of Germany.
Oh.
Have I missed something here? How have they got most of... Wait. Oh, I know what's happened. So because Kara was already a Kingdom of title when she took over the HRE, and the war that was thrown was an overthrow war and forced them to step down. Only the Empire level title and only the Empire level title went. So she kept all of the titles under the Holy Roman Empire.
Oh no, that's
so all
crazy.
Of the duchies of the Holy Roman Empire that weren't already under a kingdom have gone to her as vassals. So now she has Germany as vassals. That is potent. That's going to cause a lot of rebel problems, but that is potent. All of the Holy Roman, none of the Empire. Wow. Wow.
Which of our players is the most spread out on the map? I would say Kara, simply because of the small little bit in West Africa.
Yeah, we need to not forget that little West African thing. She also seems to own, is that Tenerife? Yeah, Tenerife as well. I think there's a little kingdom title in Tenerife. I'm not sure. Oh, is it a duchy title? Might be a duchy title. Yes, it's part of. It's a duchy title, and it's always be part of the Kingdom of Marrakesh, the big Moroccan kingdom. Almorid. So France, I think they've managed to get a handle on the English war. Just about. However, the numbers were far more even than I think was expected. Perhaps this is why the Grave One is getting involved. I'm really intrigued to see what Spartini does. If they're going to be making some more kingdoms. They do have a war going on. Count Chadis' claim on the Kingdom of Poland. Oh, okay. So Quack House might be about to get Poland.
Expanding northward for them would be very nice right now.
Yep.
And Poland
as
is,
I was saying,
half of basically the empire of like West Slavia. So once you obtain that, it's just a little bit more expansion, and then you're good to go.
Yep. Absolutely. And the thing as well, as I was saying, is not many players had made a move over to this Eastern territory. So I was really saying the Grave One looking good over here, because Snap Strategy was over here and not moved in a long time. But now if you look at the player map mode, it's like, oh, everyone's over here.
I find interesting is Castile is still untouched.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, I really think Snap Strategy is going to make that. Well, it's owned by Snap Strategy's Dynasty. So it's kind of dibsed. And I think Snap will make a move after this England issue to clean that up. I will say also Mordaith finally making a move on Ireland. So it's going to be a county claim, starting off small. But, you know, the consolidation of Ireland plus getting that extra kingdom, it's going to go a long way. They just need that little bit more manpower pool, that little bit more monetary pool, and I think they can start playing in the big leagues. They've just got to be on speed now. We're halfway through the entire event. We're on episode 3, so we're just past the halfway point, and I think it's actually time for us to pause this for a little while. So we're going to throw back to our count. Oh, 1 minute left. Oh, sorry, I'm misreading that. We've got 1 minute left. We've got 1 minute left before we do the pause. Apologies, I'm getting ahead of myself. I just scared the life out of the studio. In this, we've just seen a fracture in Britain. Northumberland,
yep.
Independent Northumbria. That's got to be bad for Francia, not getting a control of that English clay fast enough that actually Northumbria has broken out from underneath England. That's really rough.
That's very advantageous for Mordaith, though.
Yes, absolutely. Mordaith needs to be going like, okay, I need to get on this now. I need this territory. This territory needs to be mine. Yeah, of course, it's not a kingdom level title, but it is 7,000 men. That is a strong little nation. No, not so little nation. I watched a TikTok actually the other day that said if Northumbria in this, like in exactly this state, was to become its own kingdom today and its own country in the world, it'd be like 31st in the world in GDP. But wow. Yes, now we're going to take that pause and throw it back over to our hosts. Oh, and to us, in fact.
Oh, it's us.
Look, I'm just flustered, is what this is. I'm flustered from that Kara war. And look, we got our first major player conflict, and I just don't know how to handle it. Like, the thing is, Kara went from, you know, that turnaround at the end of session 2 where we thought, okay, that's an amazing play. She's defended herself from all the players coming for her. She then instantly put herself in the spotlight for the players to attack her again. And unfortunately, this time it didn't pay off, but you've got to hand it to her for that absolute mad lad play of becoming the Holy Roman Emperor right as we were looking at the Grave One doing so. He was like, yes, I'm going to be the HRE. And then Kara was like, I got here first, takes the throne and, you know, just tries to run away with it. How do you think she comes back from this?
I think if the goal is to reclaim the title of Emperor in the HRE, I would do it like I would make that one of those like last minute plays, like the last like half an hour of the last session. Just get in, get the title. Do not give yourself any time to lose it. I think it's too big, and I don't think that the rest of the world would allow her to keep that necessarily, just because of the points and how close she is also to Hispania. So if I was all of the other players, I think we will see like World War Kara to stop the Emperor from.
Yeah. So would you say that maybe the goal for Kara right now is to not be the Holy Roman Emperor and see if they don't notice all of her stuff in like Mali?
Yes, if I was her, I probably wouldn't go back to try to reclaim that title for a while and just focus on expansion, healing after those wars. I think Kara's right now, I think that the issue is we need to see some alliances. We're seeing France and Italy, basically, because I'm vying for the Grave Ones to retake their Italian clay. We're seeing player alliances happening, and yes, I think that the military is starting. Like you said, France is a kingmaker. We need to start seeing stronger alliances and more bulk military. Otherwise, it's going to be very dangerous.
Yep, I totally agree. But finally, I will say our council is actually ready this time. So yes, we went from Midgeman to Midgeman, but I promise you this time you're not going to see me in the next screen. So over to our hosts.
All right. Well, hello everybody. I almost don't know where to start. Wow. Was that an hour? Goodness sake. But congratulations to SpartiniMartini for keeping his lead. Quack House, congratulations.
Thank you. Almost lost it. The Civil War was annoying.
Yeah, and I have to say that I personally enjoyed that you made Midgeman your heir. I thought that was hilarious. Congratulations on that one.
I had twins. I thought I'd name them after the casters.
Yeah, that was adorable. And okay, so I've got to do it. Kara! No! I had no. Oh, no. Well, it was very exciting. How was your last hour? Tell us how that was.
So I thought I would be a bit sneaky and try to like get into the throne of the HRE, but then, you know, the Grave Ones is still trying to fabricate a claim on the HRE. So I was like, oh, maybe I should be a bit preventative. Like, I have the numbers, I have the troops, I can probably win this war if it comes to it, just to make sure that nothing can happen to where I'll be unseated. But then I turn around and like France has joined, all these other people have joined, and it's like, oh God. It was pretty tragic. Don't appreciate everyone banding up on me like that, but it is what it is. I'll take my L's with my W's. I'm down but not out.
And I have to say, Midgeman did want me to say, you don't make friends with swords. Like that that was an interesting strategy. I'm sitting there going, oh, she's gonna lay low and it's gonna maybe not. Maybe
well, everyone can be my vassals. I don't understand. They can be my friends, like under my crown. Like
I think those cat ears, they made you a little spicy tonight, I have to say.
I think they made me a bit frisky. Yeah.
They did, I have to say. And congratulations to Snap Strategy for getting another point. Mordaith also another point. And I want to say the Grave One also another point on the board.
Yes. I just want to say I didn't appreciate. I was fine with being a vassal. Like I was going to be a vassal and I was going to be okay with it. But then I was started to get demands to losing vassals and having to surrender my wars I was in, and so I didn't really appreciate that. So I was like, okay, we're gonna. I thought I was going to lose at first, so I was like, I'm just going to go to the war anyways, and it turned out to actually go in my favor. So
yeah, that helped you out a little bit there, I have to say. And Snap Strategy, you survived being an 8-year-old girl, so congratulations to you for that.
Thank you, yeah. And I think I've realised England is just my kryptonite. Every time I get England, everything just falls apart. Like...
And Mordaith, how you feeling up there in Scotland?
Well, I'm feeling a little shunned. I saw the turmoil happening in England, and I thought I would lend my support, and I actually offered to bend the knee to Francia, and I was refused.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
then all hell broke loose. I don't know how that could have happened.
I don't know. So going into this next hour, Mordaith, are you going to capitalize on anything?
Well, I'm trying to stabilize the Britannia region. It's just for some reason it seems a little war torn these days.
I don't know what that could be. And
a lot of debt going around.
And Kara, are you? Maybe you don't want to tell us, or maybe you just want to lie to me. So do you want to go back
I would
and
never lie to you.
Yeah,
Never.
no, never. Are you going to go back and try to take over the HRE? Are you going to go anywhere else? Feel free to lie.
I feel a bit traumatized by what happened to me, to be honest. Don't know yet, but I don't. Maybe the HRE just brings me too much attention. I don't know.
Maybe
for now,
the
I'm just gonna lay low
HRE
and consolidate a bit.
Right.
It kind of traumatized me. I don't know. I might try to break free from it or something.
It might be your
a little bit
kryptonite.
spooked.
It might be.
Maybe potentially. Yeah, could be. Could very well be.
All right. So I think. Well, good luck to everyone, and I will let all of you go get ready.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that was an interesting conversation there. Kara, I think, realizing that maybe she bit off a little bit more than she could chew. And we do finally have an answer to if she thinks you can make friends with swords. And her answer was, well, my vassals are my friends. I think that's a bit of a, what's it called? What are those relationships? The ones that, I can't think of the term. Like those ungenuine relationships. The term's gone. Either way.
I'm thinking more parasitic, but yes.
Yeah, parasocial is actually what I was thinking. So thank you for saying that. I do like the idea, though, that she's going to try and step away from going for the Holy Roman Empire for a little while, though. I noticed that Spartini was very... Oh, go for it.
Was that Mordaith was offered to bend the knee and was refused.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is a little brutal, in my opinion. I think that we have some revenge coming up.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And I wonder if somehow they've instigated this massive revolt that we've seen. But we're going to unpause and get ready with the second half right this moment. Yeah, it's all to play for, and there's a lot going on. It seems the daggers are out today, and I am very, very happy to see it. Of course, if you are joining us, welcome back to the second half of tonight's broadcast of A Family Affair. We have heyitscara, SpartiniMartini, the Grave One, Snap Strategy, and OldManMordaith vying it out to become the best of all of the dynasties in this CK event, where they are trying to get their dynasties on as many thrones as possible. Currently, the scores are Quack House on 10 points. House, which is SpartiniMartini's house. heyitscara is on 7 points. Sorry, my eyes just went a bit wonky. I'm still being flustered by calling myself to vote for myself into myself and seeing myself. If you missed that, go watch part 1. It's like, Snap Strategy is on 6 points. The Grave One is on 3 points, and Mordaith is on 2 points. All of which is to play for, as we've seen. That can shift and change in the blink of an eye. Kara was our point leader earlier, or joint point leader, and has been teared back down to second place by the loss of one single title. The person I think I worry for the most is the Grave One right now, because they are slap bang in the middle of a lot of essentially, in air quotes, enemy territories. Their alliance with Francia is strong, but only as strong as Francia. Francia is now currently in this big war, unable to quite hold together England. If Francia gets attacked at an opportune moment, that could bring the Grave One down with them.
It very well could, but I think even without the British holdings, that France is still very strong. Now, I think our sleeper agent here is Spartini, who is winning that Polish war.
Yes, they didn't mention that at all to the other players, so I don't know if many people have noticed this. I will also just say that Pomerania, Kara apparently had some interests up here that we didn't notice, but she just had that usurped from her by Tim to Tim, our current, the Grave One's current ruler. So interesting. There is a player versus player political conflict going on up here in the Pomerania region.
France has also lost Denmark.
Oh, have they? It's still their family. There's just a cadet dynasty, but yes, it has been made independent. I wonder if they went at the same time as Northumbria.
And a cadet dynasty will still count towards points, just because it has the
cadet
same
dynasty
name. Oh, good.
Yes, it's still a cadet branch. They still count towards the points. It's obviously just far harder for the players to keep control of that and keep it within their family. So it's always risky to, yes, you can do it, but it's not always the best play for this. But it still counts as points for now. This Byzantine-Polish war. Currently, the Byzantines are set to win this very easily. There's only 3,000 Polish troops left to the 19,000 Byzantines. It also must be said that the troop count for all of our players has dipped quite a bit. And I think Kara, despite being king, is still stronger than our two emperors right now in terms of manpower.
I believe so. I would also like to point out that France has lost their county in Santiago. And so all that's left for Hispania Clay is Castile.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, but that is part of Snap Strategy's family right now. So that will be a player war for that to happen. Yep. I'm intrigued as well to see what happens when our sleeper agent of Quack House
she's
pulls
fighting
the trigger.
She's fighting for Castile. There's a war for Castile. Yep, for the Kingdom of Castile. And
you're right.
Snap doesn't know. Snap is in it.
Snap is in it?
Not in it. Nope.
Snap is not in it. No, I don't know if Snap knows. That's sometimes the problem with independent dynasties. If the AI thinks that you can't join them right now, they won't always call you. And because the Snap is in that massive independence war for England, I think this is a great opportunity grabbing here for Kara. Maybe this is what Kara meant by consolidating. They're going to go for the Kingdom of Castile as consolidation. And then if they break through from the Holy Roman Empire, they become Hispania and get 5 points. Mm-hmm. There they go. They've just taken... Oh, not only is that a gained point for Kara right there, because I think she directly got the kingdom title. No, she didn't. She has to create it again. But it is a lost point for Snap Strategy. No, she does hold it. It's just her kingdom list is so big that I have to open it on my monitor. That's what's going on. Oh my lord. My lord. So there, wow, there's so many titles that I couldn't see them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh no, she's got more points than we thought. She has the kingdoms of Bavaria and Germany still. Kara's in the lead.
But can she hold all of her?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. She's joined first with Spartini. Ah, she has 10 kingdom titles. Wow. And that's a point loss from Snap Strategy back down to 5 points where they were at the beginning of this session. Kara, you sneaky devil, you. That's some consolidation right there. Germany and Bavaria in there. No wonder she had control of all of the... I wonder if that came before or after the control over here. Either way, very, very good work. Now, SpartiniMartini did just get another point, though, to bring themselves into their 8th kingdom title, I believe. I will actually go and do a quick sneaky check against all of their family members, but Poland is now under SpartiniMartini directly, with Despot Chadus of Poland taking the lead. So let's quickly check the various Quack House dynasty members for their titles, because they're spread out. It's a little harder to do, but also a little easier to see. We go to living members. We see, okay, we have 3 points. We have 1 point. We have, so that's 5 there, 6, 7, 8, 9 plus 3. Whoa. 12 points. Okay. SpartiniMartini back in the lead. It's like, this is what we mean about the fluctuation of points. It can happen so sneakily, so quickly. I need to remember that a very fast way to do this would be to hover over the renown, because it should just tell me how many emperors and then how many kings. But it doesn't quite do it clear enough because people have multiple titles. It's a little rough. I think the way I just did it beforehand was the faster way. Brain melting. Players too good at this game. Midgeman dying. Okay.
The expansion is incredibly sneaky.
Yes. And you kind of got to be in order to get round to the other players. Of course, I will do an in-depth dive at the end of the session just to make sure I haven't missed any kingdom titles, but I'm trying to give you the play-by-play as it goes on. Okay, England back definitely under Snap Strategy. Just got to check their points again as well. I think because they don't have France, I think it's correct. I think they've just got the 2 kingdom titles here. 2 kingdom titles here, Denmark and France. Yeah, that's correct. So they're on 5.
So how important do you think it would be for Snap Strategy to try to retake the title of the Kingdom of France?
I think it's a massive necessity. This vassal of France is too powerful. They keep causing a lot of issues, and it is a kingdom level title that the enemy players can't grab from him. Sorry. I'm saying her because the character is female. Juliana the Flayer. Oh, good. The 8-year-old from the beginning of the session is now taking to making skin suits. Yeah. France having this much power underneath you, not under your control, is bad. Bourgeois needs to be replaced with one of Snap's dynasty. Also, I'm very interested to see why they haven't made the Kingdom of Brittany either.
I think it's a money
Mainly
situation.
because it's a massive money situation, but they've been able to do that for 2 sessions now. Maybe it's to do with succession. Maybe they're holding off until primogenitor's a thing, so they can just know they go, boom, there's an extra point, and not lose it. Speaking of, we should probably check the cultures, how they're doing towards primogenitor innovations. They're going to be a long way off. They're a long way off yet.
Yeah, I believe everyone's still in high medieval.
yeah, we've still got at least 44 years in game before it even unlocks. Because it's now tied to date slightly. So I don't think that they can be wanting to wait for late medieval. I think they need to just go. I mean, they can go for high, what's it called? High partition, which means they should always keep some of the titles. But yeah, I think they've just got to pull the pin and get these kingdom titles, not wait around for that long.
The Grave One currently fighting a defensive war. Looks like they've been fabricated on. The France war for England, not looking too great for France.
Mm-hmm. The Grave One has actually picked up an extra point as well because they've taken the Kingdom of Pomerania. So they are up to 4 kingdoms for their dynasty. Kara currently also fighting a war down in Mali, trying to get one of the kingdoms down there, it seems. Well, one of the duchies down there to form a kingdom. So we're just going to be seeing more and more family dynasties rising for each of the players. I think they've all had their taste of blood for now, and I don't think they want to spike a player war just yet. A lot more consolidation. I think they're all going, okay, we tried it. It failed. Let's maybe regroup in like 30 minutes. Maybe next session, duke it out then. We'll say though that the players are slightly running out of time. 46 minutes left of today's stream, and then we've got one final stream next week where it's all going to be to play for. This is where the moments where Snap Strategy, the Grave One, and Mordaith need to be moving. Like they need to be going fast. Speed is now the key for them. They need to try and find kingdoms wherever they can, because currently Kara and Spartini are just totally running away with it with their power blocks that they are forming up. Yes, they put Kara down a minute ago, but if she can essentially get out the Holy Roman Empire now and form Hispania, only Spartini will catch her. And then it becomes a case of, has Kara annoyed the rest of the players enough that they're willing to help Spartini win? And I don't think it's gotten to that yet. Because if we do remember, the Grave One and Spartini had a little bit of a murder off over Hungary. There's probably some bitterness there. And I think if, for example, Francia, if we saw a power block between the Grave One Snap Strategy and SpartiniMartini, I think Mordaith would be, out of pure principle, trying to murder them all.
Yes.
Something tells me that Mordaith would be like, no. This isn't allowed. Stab. Speaking of, they finally got their little bit of clay in Ireland. We're starting to see that expansion there. The Kingdom of Ireland has formed by the AI. So now there's something they could directly claim, I guess. Or try to work their family into diplomatically, if they didn't want to fight that. Northumbria has split on a succession to Northumbria and York and Lancaster. So that whole region's a little weaker now. Francia is still stuck in this war. Francia is losing.
Yeah, it's a very tough war for them. They've had to give up a few. They've made a few concessions, I think, not even noticing, or perhaps they did notice. But the Castilian War, just even losing that hold, because they're so locked on to this England war, I think, is kind of hurting them. But again, I mean, do you give up on it, and do you just say, hey, I'll come back for that title later? I personally wouldn't. So fighting tooth and nail seems to be the way to go here.
Yep, and we are probably seeing the final battle of this war happening, and I think Snap's gonna lose. I think this will take, yeah, that's their 100% negative to them, losing that war here. That game over to her? Him? Them? Just gonna take a quick pause to make sure if the Snap strategy still exists. They do.
It exists, yeah, as another 6-year-old child.
As another 6-year-old child. Ah, here we go again. They didn't lose the Kingdom of England, however. Just that war.
That's a tough spot to be in as a child.
A big tough spot to be in. And
there's no player error. So let's see.
No player error either. So, yeah. Snap. Well, I mean, the thing is, they've got family members. But currently, yeah, no player error. That's looking so bad for them.
It's gotta survive.
Died. I think Kara may have just been...
Oh,
Kara died under mysterious circumstances. Kara is also 3. Someone did a bit of stabbing work. Let's have a look at the players, see if anyone's got a Kara on their list. For some reason, I've naturally gravitated toward Mordaith, but he's got no visible murders. Where's the kill list? For no kill list on Snap Strategy.
Oh, I know who did it.
Is it the grave one?
The grave one.
Yep, the grave one murdered Kara.
The intrigue.
The intrigue is real. Just double checking that murder was in the rules. Yes, there is an heir and a spare. So still good there. However, if someone was to murder, no one would be able to murder the Emperor of Francia right now. Snap is safe from intrigue. If they get murdered right now, it would be a rule break, and we would have to find a suitable punishment. Most likely, we would take a point away from them, from the totals. But yeah, they can't be killed right now. They do not have a player heir. It's not, or at least not one that I can see right now.
Well, they can't be killed by a player, but the AI will also fabricate murders. And that's very scary. I've had it happen to me. And let me tell you, when it comes up out of the blue and it's like, oh, you've died. And you're like, what? Like, okay.
Yep. Kara's just said, murder truce, please. The grave one. There is ongoing Discord discussions. Which is a good note for me right now to mention that anyone in chat, you should join the Speed 5 Discord if you haven't already. Discord.gg/Speed5. Possibly Speed5 official. Not quite sure. Someone in the studio team will probably put it in chat for me so that I don't get it wrong. I haven't memorized everything. I've barely memorized my own name today, apparently. I am pure jelly. And I am just here along for the ride with all of you as it all unfolds. Kara, I think, finishing her war down in... finished the war down here in Mali. Ooh.
I was going to say, Midge, you're probably just a little preoccupied ruling the Byzantine Empire. And that's probably why your head's a little...
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's exactly that. I'm apparently in the game now. It's a lot to focus on and cast. I need to just double check because did I just see that they lost Pomerania? Oh. So at one point, Pomerania was... I see what happened. So, I mentioned in chat earlier that Kara lost a title to Grave One. Well, Kara made that title when she was Holy Roman Emperor and then had it revoked from her to go by Tim II of Tim because they controlled the land and Kara was no longer in charge of them. So when she got demoted, Tim, or the Grave One, just went, I'm going to be taking that title from you. And there's nothing that Kara could do. That's a very good yoink. The points remain the same. It's just finding out what happened there. It would be nice if I spelt that out. Oh, well, I can because my good buddy old pal cKnoor, who everybody wished them well because they're not feeling well at the moment, but they've managed to put in chat HTTPS. The what's the dot called? What's that punctuation mark called? What's the dot?
colon?
Do you know what I'm... Yeah, it's a colon. That's the one. // discord.gg/SPEED5, the number 5.
I believe that there are panels on our Twitch as well with all the links and the socials. Oh, artifact war against Hungary.
Who's having an artifact war against Hungary?
Grave one.
I wonder if that's a misclick on the war goal. Well, oh no, this is the Holy Roman Emperor right now going for that.
Oh, okay. I would be
it's just
curious to see who's going to go for Hungary. If I was Spartini, I would be trying to bring that into my empire's fold.
Yeah,
especially now that they've gotten Poland.
Yeah, and I feel like that there is honestly, they almost had it in session 2. It would be nice for them to, reclaim what was due to them. Let's take a quick look at the dynasty map mode as well, because this might give us a better look at where the house map mode is called in this game. Just see if we can notice any little bits of other breakaway, for example, quack houses, etc. But no, I think we are good. I am interested to see what comes of the betrothal between Raymond of France and the Queen of Ruthenia here, who is currently pregnant. Don't think it's the 8-year-old kid. I've been wrong before, but either way, whatever the issue of this this queen is, whatever the child of this queen is, it's they can be sent to the forest, or sent on a long walk. But either way, betrothing that queen, by the time he's of age, she should just about still be fertile. That could be a big point grabbing Ruthenia.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Snap Strategy just sent us an image.
Oh, no.
We need to check out their factions. Oh. The military power and once Empire of Francia. It's a member of his family has managed to get a faction that is 537% military power against them. Oh, that's a rough one.
That's very scary.
That is the aunt of this character's mother, who was deposed. So, sorry, the sister of this character's mother, who was deposed, not aunt. It's the current character's aunt. And that is going to be a rough faction if that fires, and it's probably going to.
Now, if you're Snap Strategy, you're a 9-year-old emperor, how do you deal with this? Your only ally is your Ruthenian queen.
I don't know right now, other than possibly hoping that you can hold out long enough. Oh, and here comes the war.
Here it comes.
They've got 7,000 men versus 44,000 enemies. I think the thing is, this is a claim on the Empire of Francia. This other individual is landed already. Yes, it means that currently Snap is not going to be in personal control of the Empire of Francia, but their dynasty will be. The points will remain. Losing this isn't that bad if you think you can come back from it when you're an adult. It's already been defeated. They got captured, I believe. Okay, so they actually lost the kingdom of Aquitaine. No, they are the king of Aquitaine. They're the king of Aquitaine. The Empire of Francia is now their aunt. It could have been worse. Oh, but someone else took England. Okay, it's still the family.
Which is good for Mordaith.
It's still the family, but yeah, it's split to the other aunt, I believe. No, how did that individual get England? Hang on, let's look at title history. Installed by faction 2 years ago. Oh, that was the outcome of the previous war. Or just beforehand. This happened just before what we were viewing. Okay, well, we've got to hope that the AI in control of Snap Strategies Dynasty can hold on to that title. I wonder if Snap, as an emperor, as a king, however, can make a go for the title of France in some way from underneath the rulership, and then come back strong that way. One can only hope. Or perhaps the AI will do it for him.
That actually puts a huge, or lessens, I should say, a huge stress probably on Kara, who now is having a fractured French Empire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the onus on... The thing is, Kara is also a kid right now, so the Patriarch Omega 3, of course, the strongest Omega, also the most fishy. Looking here with their awesome sunglasses. This is the time for them to break from the Holy Roman Empire, I think. Whilst the Grave One can't really do too much about it, I think they try to break from the Holy Roman Empire and then try to form Hispania. That would be... I think now is the time. There isn't... The Kingmaker of Francia has been deposed internally. Byzantines are going to be happy to just go do Byzantine things. So if Kara wants to be getting those points, I think independence, Hispania, focus down in Mali. I think that's the go now. Maybe come back for the HRE later. Grave One's 67. Their pressed claim on the Holy Roman Empire will go to whoever inherits from them. However, they have a lot of sons, so their succession is going to break apart their three kingdoms again, which is going to be rough for them, I believe.
Would you just disinherit? I think at this point, would be what I would attempt to do.
I think you've got to, if they haven't already. But they do have 4 sons. Some of them have disputed lineage as well, so it's not good yet. 67, I think there's got to be some onus here in getting some people out. And there we have it. Kara's going for it. I think. Is that right? No. Corsica, Sardinia, over the Duchy of Emilia. Okay, so actually, okay. The Grave One is going to war with Ancona by the looks of it, I think. Yes, is that Ancona? Yeah, the Kingdom of Ancona. They're going for a duchy in Ancona. And Kara is, in fact, going against the HRE. Let's look at these numbers. It is 36,000 on the side of Kara versus 7,000 of the Holy Roman Empire. She's got Hungary in. She's got an alliance with Hungary? How has she got an alliance with Hungary? Where is that ally? Between Alpha Bint Omega and the Prince Andreas of Hungary. That's a matrilineal marriage on the third son of Hungary. Oh, second son of Hungary. Yeah. One murder, and then there's a chance that if this goes unnoticed, Hungary will actually fall to Kara's dynasty.
I think the Independence War was smart.
Such swag. Yes. Oh, yeah, I agree. The Independence War is so smart, and I just can't get over this Just this. Wait, why is Mordaith in Francia? Mordaith is in Francia.
Oh, maybe he took the vassalage.
Because it's now under the AI, he could vassal, the AI would accept. Oh, Mordaith. And there we go. There is the independence of Al-Andalus. That is. Mordaith. I love that strategy. Oh, you don't make the decisions now. So I will go to the people who can. Okay, this really opens up what they can do within there and try and sneak England away from Snap strategy. That's an interesting use of game mechanics, I have to say. I want to see what they want to do. What they want to do to Ireland. Ireland is again a thorn. I think Mordaith is kind of locked between two thorns, a rose between two thorns, maybe perhaps as Ireland is now getting quite a bit of power, and then England under Francia. However, I feel like they're in the best position so far to be able to start getting that away from them. Now,
well, the HRE has been weakened incredibly. Now, if anyone wants to go to war with the Emperor, now's the time.
Yes, absolutely. The one thing that Kara needs to be aware of right now is the fact that the HRE still has de jure claims on her 2 kingdom titles that should be in the HRE. I would, as a matter of urgency, find the biggest duchy of each of those kingdoms, so the kingdom of Bavaria and of Germany, install a member of my family on those, and then give them their independence. And let them do as they wish and keep allied to them, but don't have them underneath me. Otherwise, it's just going to put another target on her back, possibly from the AI.
I would agree. Do you think that the Grave One should try to press the claim for the HRE?
Yes, I think so at this point, especially while it's this week. It might help them because they might be able to fully subjugate Ancona, for example, if they were an Emperor level title, and then, steal that kingdom that way. Of course, Ancona being created by a peasant rebellion in our first session, generating extra kingdom title down in Italy that wouldn't normally be in the game. So this is a free point that the Grave One has been trying to get their hands on the entire game so far.
And Spartini is doing some murders, so I'm curious to see what are they going. Oh, okay. So something we haven't really been discussing is that actually the Byzantine Empire has been doing an eastward expansion.
Yes, they've recently formed up the Kingdom of Syria, and it's slowly moving into this modern day Iraq, Iran area, modern day Turkey, the Caucasus sort of region. That's kind of the way they're going, or as I would call it, into AQ, if we're in EU4 terms. But old Seleucid, also Persia on the map. I don't think I've ever seen Persia as an AI kingdom form up. From normally that gets shattered into much greater pieces when the Seleucids, not Seleucids, the Seljuks. My gosh, wrong era of history. When the Seljuks actually dissipate. I was quoting like EU4, Imperator Rome, all of the Paradox titles of history right there. My brain, I'm apparently mush today, Ghibli. I don't know what's going on. Who am I?
It's because you're an emperor. It's hard work. Now, are there any point, like if you're vassalizing another player, is there a point for that, or how does that work? No?
There's no gain or losses by being a vassal. Only thing is, as a reminder, that they cannot be dethroned from their original duchy. So if for example, if, for example, Snap managed to get back the Empire title, they could start, say, revoking kingdoms from Mordaith. That's completely in the rules, but they would not be able to remove them from, I believe, Lothian is where they started, the Duchy of Lothian.
Oh, and Grave One has gone in on the HRE.
Okay, let's check the numbers because this is going to be... Yes, I thought as much. Actually, the Grave One being in charge of the HRE makes the HRE have loads of troops again. And
yep,
like I already identified, there's claims to be had on Kara land now. That's... Yeah, this is a good go for them. This is going to be 3 points on the board as well, which will take them to 7 points, putting them ahead of Snap Strategy, who has been middle of the pack all of today, but was one of our game leaders in the first couple of sessions. So this is a big switcheroo. Grave One finally getting out of that 4th place.
Yeah, it could also be good for Spartini. We've seen historical alliance. I'm sorry, not Spartini, Snap Strategy, because we've seen the alliance between Snap and the Grave One. And if the Grave One can take the Emperor title, that kind of bolsters that alliance back up, and maybe they can reclaim some French territory.
Yes, perhaps. I'd like to see. I'd like to see that happen. I'd also like to see the possible de-landing of Bohemia and installing a friendly dynasty in Bohemia. Big kingdom, a lot of manpower in there, and if you can secure that for your family, a good get. Honestly, a very good get. I wonder what Kara needs for the Iberian struggle to end, because they have pretty much completely Iberia now. Currently, she's in the opportunity phase.
Oh, no.
What? What happened?
So, Grave One died.
Oh, no. Grave One met a early grave.
Invalidated the HRE war.
No. They still have a claim, though.
Yeah.
So here they go again.
Here they go.
No.
Part 2.
No, that's against Pomerania. What?
Oh,
the kingdom's divided down, so they're trying to solidify before they do that. Okay.
Gotcha.
I don't think that was as necessary to do. Oh, Germany's independent. Look at that. Germany has gone away from Kara. Kara have a rebellion she can deal with? Because there's an independent Germany not of her dynasty.
Could be.
Yeah,
I wonder
9
if
points for Kara.
Yeah, if her focus is just to leave all of that land, not really struggle over it. If it stays with her, great. If not, and just sort of focus on the Hispania.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's probably a good side. Oh, Kara just said, yeah, it was a rebellion that was way too strong. Okay. She's scared of the HRE. Oh, I love the player comms that we just every now and then can glance at and say, please, so-and-so, stop murdering me, or how dare you, Mordaith, because that makes me go, oh, wait, I should be looking at that person. Also, I would love to just point out the name of the current king of Italy. Patriarch Tim again for the Tim 2. Oh, Snap Strategy was murdered.
Oh no.
That's a full game over, right?
Yeah. Should we?
That's an AI murder, I'm guessing.
I think so as well. I'm double checking all players' murders history just to ensure that this is all fair in love and war.
Yeah. We need to take a quick pause here, I think, to just quickly double check this. I don't think it was a player. I think this is going to be the AI.
Yep.
I think this is going to be someone like France or someone who had one of the title holders of Aquitaine, perhaps the title holder of Aquitaine's wife, which is the... No, it wasn't the title holder of Aquitaine's wife. The current king of Aquitaine is the previous character's mother. So I will probably have to do a save edit, but it's not something we can do right now. Okay. Let's assess this situation right now. So, what is the next landed option for Snap to come in as? I would try to get him in as his mother, I think. But his sister could be the option. They could take over as Francia right now. What do you think, Ghibli? What?
Well,
like,
looking at the lineage here, if we look at, I believe it would have been Snap's brother, because Queen Juliana, her son is Prince Gautier. So I guess I don't know. Is it better to, put Snap in as the queen with an heir, or is it better to put Snap in as the?
I think
probably
the fairest
tired of
thing
being an 8-year-old boy.
I think the fairest thing to do is to bring Snap in as Empress Alice of Francia. Technically, it would have been somewhat in the line of succession outside of those rebellions. So I think we'll bring them in as that. So I'm just going to quickly message Snap here.
That is rough. The AI coming in and doing a murder like that, it really just shows you how quickly you really do need to make sure that you've got your succession, you've got heirs. And when you're a child ruler, it almost makes it impossible, because you're always going to have those rebellions. You're always going to have the AI plotting against you, trying to install somebody else. And it's just rough that it had to happen. You hate to see it.
Yep. So we're going to be taking a quick pause here and just coming to our cameras just while we do all this technical stuff. Wow. The AI is sneaking up there. And like I said, it's the problem when you get to the higher tiers of the game, when you get into emperors, and if you don't have a good solid foundation of your empire, the whole crux of this issue has been France and losing the Kingdom of France title. They've managed to get a big power base and just cause havoc on Snap's game here. It's going to be really difficult to see. We are going to be pretty much ready to come back in, I think. We might have to play with the scores, I think. Maybe put a small deficit because, Snap was completely eliminated, technically. But there might be some jury, but that I think for the sake of the game today, we'll just try to bring this in as quickly as possible. I think Snap is in now, so we can come back to the game. I don't see a percentage by their name, so we're going to go to unpause now and get this back on the go. Into observer mode. And yeah, Snap is now in as the Empress of France. It's still of their dynasty, so I feel that's kind of okay. They're still going to have issues, though, is the thing. I've got my screen is going a little bit weird. What is all of this? I'm just. I have crashed. Okay. Bring it back to my face, everybody. Apparently, switching observer to the observer kind of ruined things there.
Yeah.
I don't know when the last autosave is going to be. Hopefully, it's in. But okay, Ghibli, what do you make of this situation here?
Well, realistically, that was rough that the AI came in and did that. But now that they are back as the Empress of Francia, I think there's still a lot that they're going to have to finagle as far as rebellions, keeping vassals loyal. I don't believe that they've lost too many kingdom titles out of it. But unfortunately, that's just something that happens, and you account for players being so brutal to each other, and what are the alliances going to be? And then the AI comes in and just completely derails your plans. I've had campaigns myself where this has happened, and I think everything's perfectly fine. And within like a 5-year window, all my children are murdered, and then my ruler, and game over, I guess. So
Yeah, it can be really, really rough, and that's kind of the other element that we don't often talk about in these big multiplayers and these player-based games where we're trying to put people against people in such a way is there is always the PvE element of this that needs to be taken into account. The AI can be harsh, especially in CK when an AI such as low level as a count can technically ruin an emperor's game. But that's also a good way to showcase that within this game, even if you as a player get reset to just one county or a kingdom or whatever with this, there's still a chance for them to bring back points. We're still, but don't worry, guys. While this technical issue is going on, while this reset host is happening, you're not losing out on game time. We are still going to come back for the full 20 minutes of play that is left. So there is that. It's you guys are you're all good. You're not missing out by this small technical hiccup. All the players are rejoining back in now. Ghibli's also joining back in as a caster. It's all happening. But yeah, I think this is the perfect way to show how dynamic this kind of event can be and how there's so much that these players are having to deal with and juggle with. They're not only trying to go, oh no, for example, Kara has just gotten all of the points and she now has a scary army. I also have to worry about the thousands of people that are trying to rise up beneath me and the other player across the water there with the blow dart gun that's trying to murder me. There is a lot that can happen.
I will also say, compared to some other games, I think that not being able to pause and actually read events, CK3 is a game that you really need to be able to read and respond to events. You know, it's not just a military game. There's a lot of little micro things that pop up. And, you know, when you're not able to pause and you just have to click through all of these decisions, you know, as quickly as possible, I think that that actually makes it more challenging in a lot of ways.
Yeah, absolutely. So, with how everything's been going this session, what do you predict for this? For the last 20 minutes here, what do you think we're going to see?
Last 20 minutes. Okay. Well, I would like to see the Emperor of the HRE go to the Grave One. I think Spartini, we're gonna just probably see more Byzantium growing. I'm curious to see what happens with Hungary. I think Hungary is probably a good spot to take, but what I realized was that they don't need Hungary to form the next emperor title with Poland. What they need is Galicia in order to make Westphalia. And if they get those two kingdoms, that's another empire title on the board. That's pretty big.
That is huge. I think that's got to be the right play there for them.
Yeah, and then now that
that's a really good pickup.
Yeah, now that Mordaith is a vassal of France, I think we're going to see some. Hopefully, if they can get help, some expansion coming through from there. But we are loading on in, so this is fantastic.
I really want to see Kara really pick up the pace down in the south, as well. I want to see land be damned, and I would really like to see Mali fully occupy very soon. Multiple wars at once kind of deal. Just really use the body weight that she's got in Iberia and just, take that and just try and get another empire down there, just even as if a fallback. Because the thing is, because of the timings, the way the Hispania stuff works, it's about timings and what phase of the Iberian struggle we're in. There's a good chance that depending on how things go, we might have misaligned the phases just because of where wars have been and where solidification came. So it could take a while. So getting those extra points, put them far in the lead, would be excellent to see.
To form Al-Andalus. So let's see. Unite the Spanish thrones. All that's left is High Crown Authority or Absolute Crown Authority.
Okay. Interesting. That's kind of... So is that for Hispania?
That's for Al-Andalus. That's the Unite the Spanish thrones.
Well, she doesn't want to do the Unite the Spanish Thrones because that will actually destroy the kingdom level titles.
Oh. Well, then.
I believe.
That's probably
so she wants to go through the struggle
and actually form Hispania,
should and form Hispania, yeah. Because forming Al-Andalus will make Al-Andalus the only Iberian kingdom out of those kingdom titles and merge them to all one de jure kingdom rather than having all these micro kingdoms. So that's actually a big loss of points if she was to do that.
Right. And what phase of the Iberian struggle are we in right now? We are currently in opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And next phase, it's looking like we're going closer towards conciliation than hostility, but that can change. I feel like this HRE war... Oh, has he gotten there? Nope, he has not. Yeah, this is the Pomeranian War. So it looks like we didn't lose too much time with that rehost there. We're on the 1st of January, 1164. So that's good. Your son's name in the Byzantine Empire is Prince Eris, like heir.
Oh, nice. That's very nice.
Eris.
Okay, everybody is in. I'm going back into observe mode. We should be unpausing right now. We are back in the game. Hopefully no crash. Fingers crossed, no crash. Everything's looking stable. We're looking 5x5. Okay, awesome.
So, Midge, what do you think Mordaith's play is here? Mordaith's a vassal in France, and I think that now that the Kingdom of Ireland is formed, they could go in on that, perhaps?
I think so. I think Ireland's a good grab. I think, Ireland is a big power base right now that isn't being tapped by players. I'd really like to see Mordaith grab that because I think that just strengthens their position so much and will help them, knock Snap out of England, perhaps. Which, again, I would really like to see. But yeah, Snap is actually back as the child because of the crash. So... fingers crossed that it doesn't crash when that crashes again if he dies. Yeah, up to the RNG. But the case of that was because I was observing them, so I'm gonna not observe them. Because the problem was, I continued as observer, they didn't, then they switched characters, and then it basically threw me into observing an observer, which meant I couldn't click anything, and then the game crashed. And I'm the host.
Yeah.
So that's not good. So I'm gonna keep away from that. We're just gonna see what's going on. Let's go see what Kara's doing, for example. Kara, of course, the child with the sunglasses, looking dope as ever. I want to see some wars. I want to see some wars down here. I want to see it take on Marley.
No. Snap was just killed.
Yep, Snap was just killed, but they have already jumped in. So hopefully they won't crash the game now because I'm not observing them when it happened, when they switched character. Good. What would you like to see? And there we have a war declaration from Kara, doing exactly what I wanted them to. Look at that. It's good. Is this for the duchy? No, it's just for a county. It is a holy war. Interesting that only going for limited by piety. I see. It's the problems with being a child. You see, you're not quite known for being pious yet. So all she can do is grab these county titles. However, weakening this region all the more so is just going to help. It's just going to help in the long run, no matter what. What is happening now with the Grave One? Are they still? Yeah, they're still fighting for Pomerania, trying to solidify their nation back up. I actually think this was kind of a secondary point, but maybe they're just trying to do it for the overall manpower in order to beat up the Holy Roman Emperor. I'm not sold on it 100%.
It is a kingdom title. It's a point. I mean, there's also, once you go forward, you don't want to take that step back. It's hard to give up a point once you've got it.
I agreed, but it is a kingdom title that they already have the point for. It's not like they're losing it. But I'm guessing it's more manpower to try and take the Holy Roman Empire. What is Quack House doing? They have managed to have a lot of sons despite being homosexual, which is useful for them. It is also heavily of note that all of these children will have claims on Brittany due to their mother inheriting that claim from their mother. So they could see Spartini go to town on Snap at some point. However, they might be feeling bad for how Snap is being dealt a poor hand by the AI right now. And the Divine Schism has occurred. Hang on. Mordaith has formed his religion? Is that a cat as the icon? Mordaith?
The Divine Eaters. Oh, gosh.
Armed pilgrimages, commune, monasticism. Monogamous must be divorced. Bastard legitimization. Okay. So it's just Catholic with a different name right now. Cannibalism isn't a major thing for it. The holy sites for this are okay. So it is a Christian. Oh no! It was supposed to have cannibalism, but it's taken it away. Oh, apparently a slight misclick might have happened there.
Oh no!
So the eaters actually don't eat. Edible only in name. I do like that the choice of the cat. Considering he was eating cats earlier in the streams. So how does Snap Strategy's position look now that they are a female leader with a female heir as well? No male children for this character. Oh, they actually have a pressed claim on the Kingdom of France, which means they could revoke it from their vassal.
Yep.
I would heavily want them to do that. Also, I need to make sure that Snap Strategy has actually had a point marked off of them. They technically only have 2 kingdoms right now.
I think we're seeing
Martin.
the
Go. What do you think?
I think we're seeing the war for the HRE again.
Oh, really? I was just noticing that SpartiniMartini is pushing further east. You love to see it. Absolutely going in unhampered. And yes, you are quite correct. The Holy Roman Empire war is going again. 19,000 Italian and allies versus 1,600. Oh, Holy Roman Empire is about to be overthrown. And that will be 3 points in the favor of the Grave One, putting them to a total of 7, bringing them to third place. Currently, the Grave One and Snap Strategy are drawing because of those points lost by Snap. They're both on 4 points. So let's do a quick run of the score. SpartiniMartini is on 12. heyitscara is on 9 currently. Snap Strategy on 4. The Grave One on 4. And OldManMordaith sitting at the back of the pack, eating his snacks at 2 points.
I think the Grave Ones, once they take Emperor title, there is so much de jure land that they can start gobbling up.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be a lot more
Like I said,
points.
I'd really like to see Bohemia got independent. Is that a peasant uprising? That how did Bohemia go out of the hands of the Premislids and become independent and not be a kingdom anymore?
Oh boy.
What wonkiness happened there? Because now we have the giant Duchy of Moravia, just free and easy. That's a good grab. This is like a must right now. This character, the 33-year-old here, unmarried, no heirs. Someone get a marriage in there, nice and quick. Come on,
Yeah.
secure
He's
that
such
title.
an eligible
Secure
bachelor.
that- Look at this bachelor from Moravia. Come on down. Here we have the Duke Haralbrus. I don't know how you say that, of Moravia. He is Czech. He's a deceitful, lazy, sadistic man, but he has this, naive charm about him. Whilst underperforming in the stat line, he does come with multiple 17 titles up for grabs, including the possibility of a kingdom. Gosh, I wonder if we could write an event that is The Bachelor for CK.
Oh, 100%.
In some way.
Make like the most eligible bachelor after like 10 generations or something like that.
Oh, you've given me an idea for an event, Jibbly. You've given me an idea.
I'm all
Stay
about
tuned for
making...
sometime in 2023, friends. I have an idea.
Yeah, I'm not good at, administering to my empire, but I sure can make a sweet baby. I'm real good with my my traits.
Oh dear Lord. That's...
I'm wondering what Byzantium is going for over here. Is that the this other kingdom title? It must be the Rose.
I think that
Rosegwited.
Yeah, I think they're just slowly. I mean, they've just taken a duchy in Rosegwited, but they're now going for one that is a de jure part of. Oh no, that is Rosegwited, which is the Shardom of this kind of Armenia region, isn't it? But yes. I'm very interested to see what happens. I was expecting people to go deeper into the Fatimids after that first crusade and start really trying to chow down on some territory there, but it's kind of been forgotten about, and they've managed to get their power back quite a bit. Despite only being 16, there's 12k troops down there, which isn't too bad, but it's also not as easy as the like 3k that it had when I pointed it out.
I think if the Grave one, once they secure the throne HRE, they come back, they've got all kinds of troops and manpower that they can just start.
Yeah, I think that's their whole go as well of it. I think that's what they've got to try and do. There is a big rebellion in France, however, and it looks like Wales has joined it. Oh, hang on. I think... Oh, okay. Mordaith died, and his realm has split between Wales and France. He currently isn't in this rebellion war, but his brother is.
Oh.
So Wales could be lost by Mordaith if this gets finished off by Snap. If it gets capped, if this is like, if the power band, I mean, this is a real rough war anyway. Again, Snap not in the easiest scenario against us. There's going to be time for Mordaith to step in if they need to. But for example, if Wales gets captured, they could have their title revoked, and the kingdom could go to Snap. But there was a lot of people getting involved with this. It's 25,000 on the side of the defenders and 23,000 on the aggressors. Another massive war in the Empire of Francia. It is... We were talking about how it was really hard to hold on to the Empire of Byzantium. I take that back. Francia is now like the the blood ball, or like it's like it. I don't know how this spiral of wars ends at this point, unless a decisive win can happen and titles get revoked.
Yeah, I would say so. At some point, you just have to...
Wait. What happened to the Holy Roman Empire? It's gone.
What?
Italy won its war and the title got destroyed.
Oh, no.
What happened? The Holy Roman Empire doesn't exist anymore.
That is a little disconcerting.
That means the Holy Roman Empire no longer exists. Which... I wonder if this is a mechanic because not enough territory existed within the HRE anymore. But I don't think it should be. I wonder if that was the wrong type of war goal.
I would be upset if I was the Grave One and I attempted to claim that throne and then that title went away, because that was the big...
it was just forced destroyed by that peace deal. So I wonder if that wasn't... They misclicked and it wasn't a claim war, but that was a dissolution war. That's a rough title. So that actually means...
Huh.
Well, there is apparently a crusade forming. We'll have to look into that in the post game. We might do some higgery-pokery in the save, possibly after this, to bring that back in, as the points are currently... But as it stands, the HRE is no longer available as a point grab. That kind of makes the whole Empire of Hispania and the Byzantines much more of a lucrative option for them. Just 4 minutes left of today's play, and a crusade is being called. Let's check where the Pope is trying to call said crusade. Against the Byzantines for the Kingdom of Pomerania.
Ooh.
Oh boy,
really
oh boy.
Tough fight for Spartini, oh no.
And all of the players are jumping on in. I don't know if they'll actually commit to it, but I think they should. Do you know what I would like to see here? Just for that added, like, insult to injury. I'd like to see House Chad throw their weight in. Now, the Kingdom of Pomerania exists, but there is the option to set it so the Pope favors your title if you get the highest war score. So if she can commit to it enough, she could essentially form a new Crusader Kingdom of Pomerania next to the Kingdom of Pomerania with her family on it. So by not only taking a point from Byzantium, but in the same vein, not giving a point to the Grave One, and gaining a point for herself, even if it's for a limited time. Spartini killed the Pope? No, I don't think so. There's no murder on this screen.
Okay.
What can I say? Did the Pope die? Got murdered? No. But either way, another thing could be said though. Thing is, it launches in 9 months. If SpartiniMartini acts fast, they could just go. They could try and get a player to force change where that's going. I also want to point out that the Byzantines are not Orthodox right now, but they are Karaite Jewish. Karaism. Is that because of the player Kara? SpartiniMartini got Midgeman that has faith in Kara. Is that what's going on? what is it? Oh dear. Oh no! You just clicked the wrong button and became Jewish. Apparently. Oh no! I'm accidentally Jewish.
Yeah,
just CK
Judaism.
Accidental Judaism indeed. Kara is about to come of age. Kara's got the lustful trait, which is very useful in this particular game mode when you're trying to get as many dynasty people as possible, giving yourself those options. How is it going for Snap strategy? However, there is a big battle currently going on in France itself, and I think Snap is going to win this. He's beaten the English forces there. Oh, it looked like a rough battle, though. A lot of people retreated. This is a slow-going war. Very slow-going war. And with all of this distraction right now, this is going to leave a nice big playground for the Byzantines and whoever's joining in this crusade to also duke it on out. But I think that's going to be the cliffhanger to make everybody watch for next episode, because we've only got 46 seconds left of gameplay. We're seeing the final clicks come in from our players. Wow, what a session this has been. What a session this has been. So much has changed. And we'll do a quick post-game debrief and talk about this. But my lord, so much has changed. The points have flip-flopped. It is wild. And I will say it's been an exciting one. What do you hope to see next time, Ghibli, as we begin to close this out?
Well, I would like to see Hispania form. I would like to, I guess, see what's going to happen with the crusade against the Byzantines. That's a really big war. To have to give up Pomerania land isn't a big ordeal, but we are out of time, so...
Yeah, we are out of time, so that is it for the gameplay of this session. I like what you're saying. Hispania forming up is going to be a big one. It is also a big risk, because as soon as Kara does it, those 5 points are now on the board. Yes, she gets them, but someone could make a play for them, and there is that option. We've also noticed how being an emperor isn't as easy as it looks in terms of management and who gets what. I have to say, SpartiniMartini has been playing an excellent game in keeping the Byzantines together and creating those titles. They've managed to get themselves a mass load of points. I'm going to quickly go through and just double check my scoring before the very end here, just to double check everybody's on the right scores. But I really, really like this game from Spartini. It is an excellent amount of points on the board for what is like geography, a very enclosed area. So got to give them big props to that, and they're very deserving to be the leader of the board right now, considering the titles they have. Ghibli, what do you make of the other people's game while I start counting these up?
Yeah, sure. So I think Mordaith, I'm curious to see what the strategy is, because they are currently struggling with their war. I'm not sure if, being a vassal of France is good now that France is also they had their issues. France is actually decently stable for right now, so I feel good for Snap for now. Obviously, anything can change very, very quickly. Curious also to see what's going to happen with the Grave One and the HRE now that title. Not sure what we're going to do in the back end, if we're going to maybe do some finagling or what the situation there is. That does really hurt. It's going to be a crazy expansion path to try to catch up in points if, Grave One is just going to have to do it with kingdom titles. And the Empire of Italia is possible.
Yes, that's a possible 2 points there.
But yeah,
I definitely think it's going to be a load of dethroning needs to happen. The points need to be taken from other players. For these players that are now behind, if they really want to get going, there's got to be some holy wars. For example, Byzantines being Jewish is a really bad thing for them because they're going to have far less people that can come to their side in defense, I think. So getting some crusades in there, getting some holy wars, driving it against bigger titles is going to be a big thing here. So yes, so 4, and I'm just getting the final point totals in. I think they're correct now, so we'll be able to show those on stream as we can throw over in a bit. But we're going to go back to the studio now.
Hello.
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 That was a busy 2 hours.
It really was. It was a hectic 2 hours. Like, my brain is just all over the place from seeing what we saw. It's the players have been they really brought the punches today. Like, everyone was like, I'm gonna go for it today, and they did, and it did not disappoint. Yeah, I was really happy to see that session unfold.
Yeah, lots of wars, lots of point changes, lots of murders. Poor Snap strategy, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh.
Snap Strategy's game was just so combative against the AI. Just not quite able to get a hold of their kingdom. Of course, France just being a true thorn in their side, and then everything else just being really, really, really potent against them there.
Can I just say, it was a little bit hilarious when Mordaith actually jumped into the Discord chat, was like, it wasn't me. No, it wasn't me. It was the AI. It was unfortunate that the AI decided, we're gonna kill you. The poor Snap strategy. But lots of wars, lots of points across the board. It'll be interesting to see what I think is going to happen to SpartiniMartini. That was a little bit, I think it was a misclick, right? Going Judas was a misclick. Yeah.
I mean, it's a bit of one, yeah. I'm interested to see what happens with this crusade. It's not on a big piece of land, so there is that. So they could essentially just give up and like let the Catholics take the dub. It's more to see which of the players also jump in on this. That's going to be where the real tension draws in, I think. What do you think, Jib?
I think Judaism is a very difficult religion to play because you don't have any allies. Because if he would have flipped Muslim, he could have had all of the Muslim allies. If he stayed Christian, that would have been pretty good. Judaism, though, you really are secluded, and when crusades are a thing, that does make it very tough because you don't have anyone that's going to have your back simply because you share a religion.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much to Midgeman and JibblyJam. We will catch you both next Tuesday for the finale of A Family Affairs. Thank you so much. Okay, everyone. So now that's been taken care of, before we talk to all of our players, we're actually going to show our leaderboard real quick. So right now, in the lead is SpartiniMartini at 13 points. Incredible. Heyitscara is number 2 at 10 points. The Grave One and Snap Strategy are both tied at 4 points, and OldManMordaith has 2 points. And I think we're ready to bring in SpartiniMartini. Hello, good game today.
Hello. Oh, I accidentally went Jewish. It was so stupid. I clicked the wrong button.
Sorry. So what happened? Were you just playing and you just accidentally clicked the wrong
Yeah, I had like
box?
eight events up, and I didn't have time to read them, and I saw it was a stress one, so I tried to go for the bottom one to just get some more stress, but accidentally swapped to become Jewish. I tried divorcing my wife to then adopt the Orthodox faith, my new wife, but I need more piety, and I can't have more piety right now. It's a mess.
Oh, no. So with that being said, what do you think your strategy will be going into our 4th and final week?
Oh, I gotta get back. I gotta work on the stability again because of the religion swap. It kind of went messed up. And we have a crusade against Pomerania in the top there of my empire. Maybe I'll defend. Maybe I'll give up. We'll see.
Well, it'll be very interesting to see what happens with you next week. I mean, 13 points. That's really good. It'll just be super interesting to see if you can kind of like hold that together and recover a little bit from switching over to Jewish. But congratulations on staying at top of the board. It's been fun watching.
Thanks. Yeah, enjoy it.
All right, we will see you next week. Thank you so much. And next, we're going to be heading over to Kara.
Hello.
So how are you feeling?
I'm feeling a bit, to be honest, I'm like a bit just confused and frazzled about everything because it's like I still own so much of Germany, but the HRE is just gone, and I don't know what to do about that.
Yeah, I think
and
we're
then also
all
forming Hispania. Like I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all a little bit confused about that one.
Now. Yeah.
We're gonna have to see what happens.
I don't really know where I'm gonna go, but yeah, exactly. Like I think I could theoretically recreate it at some point, but it's probably gonna be a while before that's even possible.
Yeah, it was, and it was fun watching you tonight because you certainly went out guns blazing. I mean, of course you were gonna make friends and lay low, and you most certainly did not lay low.
Didn't I?
You kind of went the opposite of laying low. But it was certainly fun to watch you, and it'll be fun to watch what you do for our fourth and final week. Do you want to say a little bit of what you're planning?
I guess just trying to expand outside of Europe as much as I can. Like there's plenty of land outside of Europe that hasn't been claimed. All the players have been infighting, and it's been fun and everything. Like, there's so much territory in the rest of the world. So, maybe see just the further outfield I can go.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. All right, well, thank you so much, Kara. We will say goodnight for now. And we will be bringing in...
Good night.
Have a good night. And next up is Snap Strategy. I am so sorry.
Hello. I know. I think I said at the start, my only mission was to survive, and I didn't even manage that.
Yeah, the AI was a little mean to you.
It
was a little vindictive. But did it make you feel a little bit better that it wasn't actually Mordaith that killed you off?
Yeah, definitely. But I don't know what the plan is now. I think France just falls apart every 5 years. Which is fun.
What it seems like. And it seems like we need to get you out from playing the 8-year-olds.
Yeah, can't do nothing as that, and yeah, everything's just going terribly right now, but...
Right. Yeah, we need to get you an heir and a spare, and some more heirs after that, and maybe have the AI not pick on you.
Yeah, I think my plan, I'm just going to have to hope I can hold France, and that's about it, maybe.
Well, hopefully we can get this. I mean, you still have 4 points. It's not like you're sitting at 1 point or no point. You still have 4 points. So,
yeah, and I'm at war right now to try and imprison the ruler of France. So hopefully I can take France back as well. At least there'll be another point, hopefully.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. So we will see how everything goes for you next week. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
And next we have coming in the grave one. Well,
hello.
Hi. I know you're a little bit disappointed, and hopefully we can fix this. We'll see what we can find out in the next week.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. It was I had 100%, and then I went to hit accept, and then I got invalidated, and then it just disappeared. No more HRE, and I was like, huh, interesting. It was I've never had it happen before, so.
Yeah, that's super weird. I think all of us here were kind of scratching our heads, but hopefully we'll try to figure that out by next Tuesday. Something hopefully that we can do. But how do you feel? You did tell me that you just wanted 1 point this week, and you actually got 2 more. So you're sitting at 4 points. So how do you feel about that at least?
I think I did way better than what I thought was going to happen. I kind of had the idea that I thought that Kara was going to come in and be like, yo, the HRE's mine now. And I was like, oh, I'm doomed because she's just going to come in and kick me out of everything.
Right.
And that all happened. But somehow I actually won. I was like, it's going to be I'm going to be a small little duchy now. But so week went really good besides the HRE event.
Yeah. And we'll see what happens with that next week. But so what is your strategy going into our final week?
I don't think I can get any of the big empires. I don't think I can get Hispania or Byzantines. So I might try to form 2 different empires in the last week.
Okay.
It's going to be very challenging. One is very obvious, Italia. I could probably do that pretty easily.
Right.
The other one, it will be a surprise. So.
Okay. Well, on that note, we are going to say goodnight, and I look forward to seeing what you have for us next week.
Yep. Good night.
Bye. And next we have Mordaith. Hi. Do you need
Now
a
look,
hug?
I doubled my points.
You did.
I doubled my points. That's a positive gain. But my country is on fire right now. Both of them. It's terrible.
Oh, I'm so sorry. And you've been trying so hard too.
Well, you know what? I'm a very trying person, as most people that know me will agree with.
Well, so what is your strategy going to be going in for
Well,
next
I
week?
think I've been going about the game the completely wrong way. I think instead of trying to gain more points, I just have to focus on making sure other people have the same amount of points that I do.
You know, that's not a bad strategy, I have to say.
It's not. And when we're at this point of the game, when building those empires and conquering more kingdoms, and there's not a lot of real estate where I am, and even getting out of this region is starting to prove difficult, pulling everyone down with you is not a bad option.
It's really not a bad option. I mean, maybe dragging everybody down to the amount of points it's not a bad option. I mean, you could at least go out swinging.
That's swinging, imploding, eating. Who knows?
If you're hungry next week, it's a valid option, you know.
If only my current heir was a cannibal.
I know, that's so sad. I'm a little bit...
It's not hereditary, which is a crime.
Yes.
So is cannibalism, but that's beside the point.
When I actually saw that, I'm like, no, I was enjoying this. I mean, as long as, you know, you're not eating my cat, we're friends.
Absolutely. Rations is safe somewhere. Probably escaped.
Okay, well, on that note, we are going to say goodnight here. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Adios.
All right, everyone. So after this crazy packed week, we are going to call it a night here for a family affair. So make sure that you join us next, or actually on Thursday, excuse me. So Thursday is going to be Europa Universalis 4, Masters of Universalis, and it's actually going to be our finale with Laith from the Social Streamers and Traxium, and that's going to be at 1800 CET. So that'll be a good time. And next week, join us next week on Tuesday, same time, 1800 CET for more Family Affair. Make sure that you join our Discord and all of our socials. And we will see all of you on Thursday.